The fourth night of the seventh week of the third term of the 2025 calendar year. The platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club and Thursday night Motorsport for you across Facebook and YouTube live, exclusive and free. From first up, the second, the lesser known of the Belgian circuits, but still a ripping little racetrack. We're at Circuit Zolder for races 19, 20 and 21 of the Formula V campaign. Then on to Elkhart Lake in Wisconsin, Road America. That famed 6.5 kilometre Mecca will, of course, play host to the seventh round of the Porsche Cup campaign. Good evening, everybody. No time to muck around off the top here. You can tell that isn't Thruxton, but it is round 7. It is Zolder. It is a 3.93 kilometre circuit. We're on the alternate configuration this evening. And Matt Schmidt, you might be able to bring back the start grid for me and also the weather information on the right-hand side. There we go. Beautifully done, sir. Another pole position for the dominant force of this series, Sam Chapman. Then, of course, sitting there alongside him is one of the new improving stars of the series, Nathan Moroney. John Merritt, Braden Zagas from the second row. Don't rule out Johnny Merritt from a race win tonight. Of course, Chris Nobles on the third row. On his inside will be Adam Lavis. All those guys have been in the thick of it so far this season. 5 of them at least have notched up a race win. So too is Aaron Russell from 7th. So too is Lockie Purvis. Trent Lavis is back on the grid. That's bloody good to see. And Brett Barker makes up the top 10 on the grid. Very small field tonight, but it's quality right through, especially when you think about the fact that Adam Proctor, another former Formula V race winner here, is sitting in 11th spot. Joe Baldwin, Kevin Henderson, Lane Thoburn, John Baldwin, Brett Bradbury, Eduardo Zamora, Brendan Nealon, and Aaron Smith will make up the field. Yeah, actually, that's a very good point, Benny. That's a very good point. Matt Schmidtke, what the bloody hell's the safety car doing on the circuit, please? Good evening to you.
I'm not sure about that one. I must have forgot to check a box.
So you're telling me that we're going to have rolling starts throughout the course of the evening?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, dear.
That is my mistake.
So basically what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that we've got about 4 minutes here to sit and pad and talk and shoot the breeze and talk about, sweet FA, really, because we don't have any context to this evening just yet. And we're also going to have that as part of race 2 and race 3. So if nothing else, all we're doing is taking time out of the post-race show for Formula V. And it'll be a very tight squeeze, talking to the drivers after the Vs and then getting them into the Porsches. Thankfully, luckily for them, though, anyone that's doubling up tonight, Schmidtke, you won't wear the rough of them in the same way that you would if it was a sprint racing night, my friend, for the Porsches, because at least they can get into the server mid-qualifying and still partake. If it was a sprint round, they'd be locked out of it. So I guess it is a small mercy. But this is a great little racetrack. I mean, in amongst all the fanfare of the Rip Tear Rushbuster, somewhere like, a non-iRacing venue like Queensland Raceway, or, of course, the iRacing venues that have really delivered some top-shelf V racing so far this season. And I'm thinking Phillip Island and also, of course, Thruxton last week, Road Atlanta as well at the start of the campaign. Even the Bend was good, and I didn't know exactly what we were in for there. We haven't really had a dud this season. This is probably not dissimilar to Summit Point, though. We come here not sure what to expect, but we'll probably get an absolute rip snorter.
Yep, hopefully that's what one of the reasons I picked this track. It's a little bit different to what we usually have, but it should still put on some excellent racing.
Indeed it should. Porsche's coming up from Road Atlanta Road America, I should say, after this. Now, Formula V points coming into the round. We can actually run through that before we go any further, before we get this race underway. And we've already burnt an extra minute and 40 of broadcast time than we otherwise would have by this point. Sam Chapman, 4:01, leads Adam Lavis and Chris Noble, 3:81, 3:35 for Brett Barker, 3:33 for Aaron Russell, 2:55 for Sean McQuillan and John Baldwin. Braden Sagasta, 2:52. Philip King, 2:39, 2:31 for Eduardo Zamora make up the top 10. 170 points covers first through 10th. It's a lot tighter than that. Once these guys turn wheels in anger, though, we know full well that we expect the unexpected when it comes to Thursday night's entree or main course serving, depending upon which way you look at it. Of course, I look at this as the main course and then the Porsches as dessert. And you've got an open wheel doubleheader tomorrow night that we'll preview in more detail a little bit later on as well. Here we go. Sam Chapman and Nathan Moroni will bring the field to the main straight. It's the alternate chicane coming onto the straight here in Belgium. Race 19 of the GSRC Formula V campaign. Let's go. Remembering that this is the all-important night in which drop rounds come into the equation. We'll get an updated look at the matrix at the end of the broadcast. To the first corner they go. And John Merritt swooping there, trying to get down on the inside of Nathan Moroni. He wasn't able to get it done. And at the expense of John Merritt, Braden Sagassa will find his way into third. So Merritt tried to set one up on Moroni, has lost out to Sagassa in the process. And Chris Noble's made a good start. Adam Lavis has lost 2 spots, one to Noble and one to Aaron Russell as they make their way through the back of the circuit for the first time. A clean getaway, and Chapman's right where he wants to be. Only 19 in this field tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But happy to report that they've all got going without incident so far. I won't be saying that once we get into the invert races, I'm sure. That chicane they just passed their way through, that will be a trip-up point. This one will be as well. They've got to treat those parts of the racetrack with a fair degree of respect, because it won't take much to snatch the back end of the V's out from under them. Through the back section of the opening lap. This will be a 6-lap opening heat. We will have overtime in all the first of the 3 races. I would imagine the second 2 might be a little bit closer to the mark. Just really depends on the lap times that we've got at the end of the opening lap here. Round they come onto the main straight. Chapman, Moroni, Sagassa and Merritt, the top 4. Noble and Aaron Russell there in 6th spot and Lavis back in 7th. Sagassa making his charge. He went to the inside of Moroni and to the inside of Chapman. He'll go to the lead at turn 1 and take John Merritt with him. The slipstream aerodynamic benefits laid bare for all to see here in Zolder. What about that? Back down the inside was Chapman to get by John Merritt, displace him, keep him at bay, and it also hangs Nathan Moroni out to dry in 4th place. Aaron Russell up on Chris Noble and Adam Lavis still stuck there in 7th. Look at them. All in the same shot, the top 7. Moroni's the only one of that top 7, if I've done my homework correctly, that doesn't have a win to his name at this point of the championship. Sagassa to the inside of Chapman. Braden's going to the lead. John Merritt really suffered as a result of that, because I think Chapo might have balked him a little bit. And as a result, Moroni and Russell have pounced on that. Moroni still holding on to 3rd. Russell down on his inside, now to his outside, now weaving in behind. Excellent stuff so far. Top 12. Throw a handkerchief over them, ladies and gentlemen. There's not much in this. And Trent Lavis really hasn't made his move yet, but he is up to 8. Joe Baldwin's up to 10th, currently sitting invert pole for the heat that follows this one. The consolation race before we get to the feature, of course. Big week of sport. GT Pro Invitational tomorrow night. GSRC Open Wheel Doubleheader tomorrow night. MotoGP this weekend. US Open Tennis starting up. There's a lot to be excited about in the world of sport as we make our way back to the main straight. So we had to wait an extra couple of minutes thanks to the unexpected formation lap, but it was worth the wait so far. There's Nathan Moroni down the inside of Braden Sagassa and down the inside of Sam Chapman. 3 wide on the run to turn 1. They got away with it somehow, but Chapo has been seriously compromised in all of that. Aaron Russell hanging tough around. He's outside at the moment. John Merritt and Chris Noble side by side. The 2 Lavises are together on the racetrack, and Joe Baldwin's found his way up to 9th. Chapman boxed out of it in 4th. And now Zamora and Bradbury have come together and have fallen off the circuit. Moroni leads. 1 minute 50, 1 minute 49, the time to beat so far for Joe Baldwin. So if we're going 1 minute 50s, ladies and gentlemen, this goes a minute into overtime. And only a minute. Whoa, Russell and Moroni are gone! Russell and Moroni are gone! Aaron's dropped down to 6, but Nathan's dropped out of it completely down to 13. Trouble as they exited the chicane. We mentioned it being a potential point for drama tonight. These boys have still haven't proved it. Let's have a look at this again. Oh, no. Maroney's all on his own. Russell had to take evasive action. I don't think Braden Sagas has given Maroney any help there. I think Maroney's caught the curb. We probably need to have a better look at that if we can, please. Matt Schmidtke, probably from on board with Braden Sagasa, who was second at the time. He now leads from Sam Chapman and John Merritt. Let's have a look again. Yep, that was the curb. It was the curb that brought him undone. A bit too greedy with it, and it chewed him up and spat him out. Maroney's dropped to 15th. It's changed everything at the front. And Joe Baldwin, as a result, is up in the 5th spot now. There he is down on the inside. Oh, no, he's gone at 1. And taken Adam Proctor with him. Another 2 bite the dust. And the narrative changes again. Baldwin was trying to squeeze down the inside at 1 on Lockie Purvis and Brett Barker. He couldn't do it. Aaron Russell back to 7th. In all of that, Sam Chapman has dropped down to 12th place. So he's been caught up in another incident whilst we're looking at the replay for the 1-9 entry of Braden Sagasa and Nathan Maroney. Purvis is in 5th spot. Tail off at the moment, of course, on the back of a very good showing last week. He sits 16th in the championship after winning race 1 last week and finishing 4th in the second. That is what happened to Chapo. Was that Lavis, Trent, or Adam? I know it was a Lavis, so I just can't confirm which one it was. Could have been Adam. And that wouldn't be surprising because every time they find one another on the racetrack, I hold my breath. Yeah, it's Adam. Yep, Trent squeezed through unimpeded. But it actually wasn't, there was somebody else that's turned Chapo by the looks of that, and Adams just had nowhere to go, a squeeze job. Sacrificial lamb, if you like. John Merritt, Braden Sagasa. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, there's still 2 laps to go. Look at Sagasa down on the inside of Merritt. So the old stalwart experienced hands of Formula V have found their way to the front. Merritt hung out to dry. Noble pounces. Lavis goes with him. Sagasa goes to the front. And Purvis is in this as well. Watch Lockie Purvis. And down the inside is Brett Barker as well. Holy cow. Brett Barker and Lockie Purvis is 3rd and 4th now. And Sagasa and Noble's wide and tucks into 2nd spot. Merritt back to 6th now. And Aaron Russell's down on his inside and makes it 7th. Oh, and insult to injury. You just can't pick it tonight, Matt Schmidtke. Are you still with me?
No, I lost it a while ago. I don't know what's going on. Just cars everywhere.
No, I was just merely chiming in because I hadn't heard anything out of you for the first 7 minutes of the race. That was all. Down the back straight we go. Have a look at the squabbling here. It's fantastic from Sagasa, who's found his way to the front. Noble withstanding the pressure of Barker. Still 11.5 to go. Over the rise. The sweeping left-hander follows. Through the back section of the circuit. We're into the 2nd sector now. Brendan Nealon's dropped out of it. Sam Chapman sits 11th. Adam Lavis sits a very comfortable 10th. He's got 5 seconds on Chapman, Maroney and Baldwin at the moment. Maroney has the fast start of the race. Maroney's just gone by Chapman, and Chapman's lost out to Baldwin. They are 11th, 12th and 13th and not going to feature in the invert first time round. Holy cow. Noble to the front. 1.25 laps to go. Out of that right-hander that then bobbles left and right, and they make their way down towards the chicane. The sweeping left-right here, back onto the main straight, remembering this is the alternate configuration of the Zolder circuit in Belgium. The difference is that chicane. It's not the tight technical one that we would normally associate with the Porsches and the supercars and the like, and the GTs even. White flag in the air one more time around. It's all on. It's on for young and old here, and Chris Noble, by his standards, has had a bloody shocking season so far in Formula V, but still finds himself 3rd in the championship. It's extraordinary. He's only had, what, 3 race wins to his name through the first 18. But it's the fact that he's been caught up in so many incidents along the way. Tonight, he's kept it clean so far. The reward could well be a race victory. Look at the late charge that's coming from Aaron Russell. And it might just have unsettled Noble on the exit of the right-hander. Up over the hill we go. And Russell's making a lunge, making a move. Aaron Russell trying to go to the lead on Chris Noble through the right-hander. No, he backs out of it. And Noble runs it wide. Oh, no, that balked Russell. Contact from Brett Barker. Barker's still a chance. Look at Brett. It's a gasser around the outside of everybody. He's displaced Barker. His next target is Russell. And then he's going to have a look. He's going to have a shot at Noble. They're side by side. 3 wide. Barker Merritt sitting in behind, nowhere to go if it all blows up. Final sequence of corners. Chris Noble has lost out on so many occasions throughout the course of this season. Can he withstand the pressure of Braden Sagassa coming onto the main straight? What can Aaron Russell do from there in third? Main straight, check, get flag. Look at the late run. Barker's in the wall. Noble's got it. Noble's got it again from Russell and Sagassa, then Merritt. And Brett Barker clattered the wall on the run to the line and comes home in 5th. What the hell's going on here? Furthermore, Trent Lavis came home for 6, held off Lockie Purvis. Adam Lavis 8. John Baldwin, Sam Chapman 9th and 10th. So something's going on there on the final lap for a couple of competitors further back. Joe Baldwin's dropped to 13th, Hendo to 11th, and Brendan Nealon to 12th. Brett Bradbury, Nathan Maroney have ended up in trouble lane. Thoburn, Eduardo Zamora, Aaron Smith 16th, 17th and 18th, and Alan Proctor, after he's up and over with Sam Chapman and Joe Baldwin, I think it was. There's Baldwin's incident. That's why he was gone. Yeah. He, unfortunately, was a non-finisher in all of that, Adam Proctor. Well, that was all right. I won't complain. We've got time to catch our breath here, folks. We can leave those results up on screen for a while because we've got about 4 minutes before this thing gets underway. Chris Noble. The only good thing about that, I get to lubricate the tonsils and take a breath. We don't normally get to this early on a Thursday night. Chris Noble. Have a look at the winning margins, folks. 0.14 covered the top 4. Half a second covered the top 5. It was insane in the end there. Noble able to withstand the pressure of Aaron Russell. They'll go 9th and 10th on the grid for race 2. Great late charge from Trent Lavis to no avail. Lockie Purvis, Adam Lavis in for 8. Sam Chapman gets another bloody invert. Another one. They gifted it to him last week at Thruxton. He just took off into the sunset and said, see you next Thursday, boys. But now he's going to have to do it the hard way because if he wins this one, he's got to do it from 15th in Heat 3. Your thoughts so far, Matt Schmidtke? That was a breathtaking scenario, a breathtaking, scintillating race.
Certainly was. It boys definitely put on a show. That's what I was hoping for. And let's see if they can do it again.
Let's remind everybody as well of the state of play. Firstly, with regards to the championship, next weekend, Donington Park. The following Thursday night, Cadwell Park. Then Canadian Tire Motorsport Park at Motorsport Canada to get us underway. Around the grounds, Thursday night footy underway. The game that the 7 Network rejected, Essendon and Carlton. It's a Fox Footy exclusive tonight. It's in Melbourne. It's 1-2-8 apiece between those two teams at the moment, halfway through the first quarter. The grid for Heat 2 here, remembering that we'll bring you some NRL updates once that's underway. Well, you can tell you that Sam Chapman and John Baldwin will share the front row. Adam Lavis and Lockie Purvis the second, Trent Lavis, Brett Barker the third, John Merritt, Braden Sagassa the fourth, and Aaron Russell, Chris Noble from row number 5. Chris, jumpstart Noble. He can't jumpstart tonight. He shouldn't be pinged tonight. He's probably going to thank you for the rolling start factor, Matt Schmidtke.
I think he could find a way. There's ways.
We shouldn't say it, but we will. I love it. And now, Row 6, Kevin Henderson, Brendan Neal. On row 7, Joe Baldwin, Brett Bradbury. Row 8, Nathan Maroney, Lane Thoburn. Both Baldwin and Thoburn, Baldwin and Maroney, I should say, will be looking to fight their way back into the top 10 after slipping out during that race. Row 9 is Eduardo Zabora and Aaron Smith, and Adam Proctor's going to round out the field. A second chance from 19th on the grid. Trent Lavis, blinky billing at the moment. What's going on here, please?
It's just popped up as Eduardo being in an accident, so I was just wanted to see what happened.
Eduardo's
just
gone around on the formation lap, and Trent Lavis has disappeared altogether. Trent Lavis has disappeared altogether.
No Trent.
No Trent. Well, that's disappointing. That's disappointing. I know he'll be watching back after the fact. Good evening to you, mate. I know Emma usually tunes in when you're out there on the track as well, so good evening to her. Exciting times when the two Lavis boys are in the house, but it's always particularly nice when Trent stops by because it's a novelty these days. Set for a start in Heat 2, race 20 of the campaign. 2/3 of the championship will have come and gone by the time this one's run and won. Let's go in Zolder once more. And Chapman wasted no time in hitting the gas and getting going. Because when you see green, you can go racing, ladies and gentlemen. And he's old nevis as Adam Lavis has followed him into the first quarter. Lockie Purvis has displaced John Baldwin as well. And John Merritt slotted up into the top 5. Some big movers and shakers on that opening lap, noting that Trent Lavis is down 14 spots and out of business. I think the power might have gone off in his part of the world. Because where he is on the racetrack at the moment, he's disappeared altogether, but his reading is minus 0.62 minus laps is what he's reading as at the moment. About this point of the circuit, he's there as a figment of everybody's imagination on the leaderboard right now. Out of business is Trent Lavis. It's very disappointing. Chapman leads from Lavis. That's Adam. From Lockie Purvis and John Baldwin, then John Merritt. Aaron Russell back up to 6th already, hoping to get back up and go one better than what he did in race 1. A little bit more spread out at this point of the race than I thought they might be, though. The top 2 ascend their opportunity to bolt. Lockie Purvis is gone. Purvis is done. Sliding through, off the road and rejoining at the tail of the field. It's a long way back from there. Of course, it's the Rabbitohs up against the Dragons, I believe it is tonight, in 9's Thursday night NRL 2. So we'll keep you across those scores as the evening goes on. That was what happened to Lockie Purvis. Clout. We avoided having our first canoe of the night. Have a look at John Baldwin, the pressure that he's under at the moment. He's got John Merritt marginally in front of him. Aaron Russell and Braden Sagasa lurking, hovering like cheap suits. Down on the main straights. Sagasa gets by Russell and gets the run on the inside. He'll have John Baldwin by turn 1 if he's lucky. John Merritt under pressure. Big lunge, big dive from Braden Sagasa, but it's to no avail, and they barely got away with it. Now Aaron Russell straight through the middle of the pair of them. Goes up into 5th, displaces Sagasa. Hung out to dry is now Aaron Russell. He was way wide on the exit there. And look at Sagasa on the inside. Baldwin was mid-track. Russell's on the outside. Noble and Barker want a piece of it as well. Holy cow. Brett Barker is down 2 spots on where he started, but you wouldn't know because he's still in this with a great chance. Sagasa and Russell still side by side. Uh-oh. 2 wheels in the dirt for Sagasa. Noble's gone up there to 4th and displaced Sagasa. Trouble behind. That is Nathan Maroney. 2 races, 2 spins. And again, that same section of the circuit that brought him undone earlier. Oh, boy. It's a big Thursday night on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. I'm bracing myself, Matt Schmidt. I'm not sure exactly how many Porsches are going to turn up in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Off the road with Aaron Russell. 2 wheels in the grass, but rejoins unimpeded and unaffected as well. Yep, sure. He's lost the buffer he had on John Baldwin, but he hasn't lost any track position. Now, Kevin Henderson as a yellow flag displaying next to him as well. So that's a slowdown penalty for Hendo, which he is observing now. That's going to cost him a couple of spots as well, down to 13th. Oh, trouble. He got absolutely poleaxed there, did Kevin Henderson. He won't be able to drive that away, I wouldn't imagine. I'm surprised. No, that's crabbing all over the place. You're not going anywhere but the back of the lane, Kevy. Pull her up, son. Have a look at the tag, the punt, the shunt that he cops here. Bang. Oh, boy. I'd like to know who that was. Just wishing him Merry Christmas. Was it Brendan Nealon by chance? No?
Bradbury, I think.
Brett Bradbury. Okay, copy
Yes.
that. Yeah, I couldn't tell because of where they were on the leaderboard, obviously, when it flickers like that. But I think you're right. Yeah, Brett Bradbury, that looks like the right car in question here. Watch this. 3-2, whooshka. Well, actually, it's a very light, gentle touch. And look at the damage it's done. Uh-oh. Chris Noble in trouble on the tow rope. Joe Baldwin on the tow rope. We knew Hendo was going there. Adam Proctor there as well. And Trent Lavis is back out on the racetrack. I don't know what's going on there, but he's back on the racetrack a half a lap down. Oh, wow, Adam Proctor up and over and into the wall for the second time tonight.
See if we can find the start of that.
Yep. There's been a biggie whilst we've been trying to analyse the Brett Bradbury incident. Oh, the carnage unfolding in the second race here at Zolder. Bang. Oh, wow.
Oh, and then Joe's just come back across the track.
Noble came together, and Noble and Baldwin wasn't able to pull it up. He's given Noble an extra nudge for good measure, and they've all ended up in the weeds and on the tow rope. Oh, good luck with that one, race control. Wow. So how did that start? More to the point. Noble's just ended up being plunged into the air, airborne, 2 wheels up and 2 wheels. You know, it wasn't a side-on motion. It was the front wheels up. Have a look at this. Let's go for a wild ride. So Lavis was off the road. That was Trent, or was it Adam? I'll have to have a look.
I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, they just wheels interlocked.
Wheels interlocked, and
there.
Noble goes nose diving. That's the term I was looking for. Nose diving. Usually something you'd be familiar with in skateboarding. Where's Tony Hawk when you need him? Oh dear. So Adam Proctor back out onto the racetrack. Chris Noble and Joe Baldwin still on pit road, and so too Kevin Henderson. Oh dear. So Trent Lavis has rejoined. He's a minute down off the pace. Adam Lavis is the one that's dropped down the order. He was the one coming back onto the off the grass there when we picked up the replay. Now, I'm not sure how that's happened because he was following Sam Chapman originally.
Oh, he must have got...
Hang on. He's done it all on his own. He's done a Nathan Maroney. Yeah.
And he was in front of Adam as well. We must have missed that.
Adam was in front of Chapo. Yeah. And Chapo's just gone and done the fastest of the race to add himself to injury, 148.257. Now look at this. The battle for third is on. Brett Barker, Aaron Russell, Sagassa and Baldwin to turn 1. And behind that, Adam Lavis has Lane Thoburn down his inside and getting the job done. Lane Thoburn to 7th. Adam's going to go back with him. Oh, now we need to be able to pick up 2 battles at once. I hate when that happens and we can only focus on one. We aren't the 7 network. We don't have the Mega War. Adam Lavis, Lane Thoburn, Lockie Purvis and Eduardo Zamora. That battle pack, and Zamora will latch on and go with them, I'm sure, if given the chance. How good is this? So we don't have a battle for first or second. Chapo and John Merritt battling for the invert pole position. The 15th and 14th, I should say, with the invert. So first and second will go 15th, 14th. And they'll be battling their way through in that invert situation next up. I knew what I was trying to say. I just couldn't spit the words out in the right order. Aaron Russell, 2 wheels in the dirt momentarily. He had the off-track alert lit up. Adam Lavis isn't too far away. Brett, I reckon, oh, geez. One of those cars has got back out there on the racetrack from the pit lane as well. So keep an eye out for that. John Baldwin's also lost contact with Aaron Russell and Braden Sagasta and all of that, and he's holding off Adam Lavis, who has got Purvis, Thoburn and Zamora with him for good measure. 5 laps gone. Now, we got 6 laps in earlier at 1 minute 50 or thereabouts a lap time. So that's 1:50, 3:40, 5:30. This has the potential to go a minute and a half overtime, ladies and gentlemen, because on those numbers, and because it's 1 minute 50, if I'm crunching the numbers, 7:20 and 2 is 14:40, we get back to the line with 20 seconds to spare. And we go for an extra minute and a half. And on a night, Matt Schmidtke, where we've got 5 minutes to warm up, and he's into it, they're not the overtimes we need, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit time poor tonight, but we'll make it work.
I'm not. It's not us I'm worried about. It's the competitors getting into the split for Road America. For the Porsches, they're the ones that are going to be time
They should be right. They've got 45 minutes still. We got 5 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Yeah,
We'll
that'll be right.
It will be fine, and we'll bring that to you live very shortly on the platforms of the GSRC across Facebook and YouTube. Hope you can stay with us for that. 40 minutes around there this evening. Joe Baldwin showing off the road again. Tucker's had enough. Chris Noble staying on pit lane, waiting to start from the rear of the field for race number 3. Hendo's still on pit lane as well, so those two won't be classified here. But yeah, to get to the 9 laps, I think we're going to have to burn an extra minute and a half on the run sheet, but that's okay. John Baldwin has a slowdown next to his name at the moment, trying to clear that. So he's dropped down to 10th. At the moment, the invert pole belongs with Trent Lavis. How unlucky for him. He should have been in the fight. Whatever's gone wrong for him has brought about his undoing, but could well gift him the easiest invert pole he'll ever take in his Formula V career. 1:48.170 for John Merritt, the fastest of the race, as he tries to track down Sam Chapman. Chapman 2.1 to the good at the moment. The battle for third is where our attention lies. There's Chapo, all on his lonesome. There's Adam Lavis in 6th, hands full with Lane Thoburn, Lockie Purvis and Eduardo Zamora. Just up the road from that is Aaron Russell, Brett Barker and Braden Sagasa. That battle for third is on in earnest. Look at him. Look at him. Aaron Russell on track for yet another top 5 finish. And when we look at the statistics so far this season, he notched up 3 in round 1, 3 in round 3, 2 in round 2. Only 1 top 10 finish, or 1 top 5 finish, more to the point, in round number 4. So what's that? 12 races and 9 finishes inside the top 5. He wasn't here for Rd-7, and then a 6th, the 1st, and a 15th last week in what was a shocker by his standards at Thruxton. So he's finished a good proportion of the Formula V races so far this term in the top 5. He's on track for yet another one here. A win's out of reach, and second's probably out of reach as well when you look at the margin. But there's no reason why he couldn't make a late surge and get by Brett Barker and Braden Sagasa. He could. The potential championship leader once all the drop rounds have come into the equation at the end of tonight. And I mean, the only one that's sort of matched him throughout the course of the season, no one's matching him in terms of that depth of consistency inside the top 5. But Chapo, 2nd, 1st, 20th, 1st, 2nd, 19th, 9th, 2nd, 3rd, 20th, 4th, 3rd, 1st, 11th, 2nd, 14th, 12th, 1st. It's going to be the drop rounds. It's going to be the incident points. It's going to be the bonuses that determine this championship, you think, based on those numbers. But Chapo on track for yet another race win here, which would go with the one that he claimed at Road Atlanta, the one that he got at Shell V-Power Motorsport Park, the one that he scored at Rd-7, and the one that he scored at Thruxton. So it'll be his 5th win of the campaign. No one will have more than that. And we're going to have yet another potential scenario where we're going to have 3 different winners in as many races a trend that's followed us all the way through the Formula V season so far. White flag in the air next time by Matt Schmidtke. Chapo doing exactly what he did at Thruxton, using the invert to his advantage.
Yep, he has gone and bolted. He had a little bit, a bit of a friend with Adam there for a while, but Adam's gone and put himself in the dirt, so Chapo's just strolling along nicely. I'm sure he would much enjoy this more than the last few weeks where he's ended up back in the pack and not so well off.
So the white flag will be out this time by. And as you can see there, folks, we're about half a minute to the good here. So a solid 80 to 90 seconds of overtime awaits us. Chapo sees the last lap board this time. .72 seconds the advantage for first to second. 4.4 from second to this scrap. And Braden Sagas has done a nice job of controlling it to this point. There's no doubt about that. Up 5 spots. Brett Barker's up 2. Aaron Russell's up 4. Biggest mover, Eduardo Zamora, the only one up double digits. He's up 10 spots. Make it 9 now. He's just lost out to Lane Thoburn, who now takes over the most positions gained, also with 9. And Zamora's now lost out to Lockie Purvis as well. So, Purvis, of course, on the comeback trail after an earlier incident. Russell's got by Barker. Russell's got by Barker. Oh, boy, the pressure's on Braden Sagasa now. Russell's got by Barker. This is exactly what we saw earlier in the piece. Aaron Russell sitting there in 4th place, leaving his charge late. He left it too late earlier, missed out on the win in Heat 1 by 4 or 5 hundredths of a second. Now can he undo the wrongs of earlier and get onto the podium at the expense of Braden Sagasa as we go into the last sequence of corners? Sam Chapman's on his way home, quarter of a lap to go. There's John Merritt in 2nd spot, but we watch the battle for 3rd. We suspect we've got another photo finish coming our way. What a contest, what a scrap it's been. Chris Noble, no luck, of course, from hero to zero. He won't be scoring points in this race. Sam Chapman capitalises on his misfortune, though. Takes the checkered flag. Fastest lap of the race on the final lap as well from Chapo. Brilliantly done. Oh, trouble.
Big crash for Sagasa.
So Russell and Barker have come through 3rd and 4th. Can we get a look at that again before Trent Lavis comes through, please? Matt Schmidtke, and just have a look. Just have a look and see how that's happened, because I didn't catch it. I was looking at the leaderboard and happened out in my blind spot, peripherally speaking. And we need to have a look and see what on earth has happened there for Braden Sagasa. Final corner. Curb. Contact. Yep, there was contact. That's why I said I wanted to have another look at it. Aaron Russell has clipped its front right to rear left. Has made contact with Braden Sagasa. So therefore, I'm just going to leave that provisionally at the moment and just see what we can do about that. See what race control are going to say about that incident. Aaron Smith has come through in 14th. Adam Lavis was 6th across the line. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th, there's a bit of a blanket over them at the moment, a bit of cloud of uncertainty. Adam Lavis 6th, Lockie Purvis 7th, Lane Thoburn, John Baldwin, Nathan Moroney, the top 10. So Moroney got back to 10th in the end. Brett Bradbury, Eduardo Zamora, Brendan Nealon, Aaron Smith, and Trent Lavis with the easiest invert he'll ever take. Adam Proctor has come through to finish in position number 16. Out of the invert, Joe Baldwin will start alongside him. That'll be 7/8 for Joe and a lap down. And Kevin Henderson and Chris Noble were non-finishers in all of that. Oh, gee. And we've got a 2-minute warm-up to get through now as well, ladies and gentlemen. Early stages, 14 minutes gone, 14 and a half, I should say, between the Rabbitohs and the Dragons out at the Olympic Stadium. And it's the Rabbitohs and the Dragons locked at 0 apiece. First quarter, done and dusted at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Carlton lead Essendon 3-4, 22 to 1, 4, 10. There are the results from here in GSRC Formula V. Another magnificent performance for Sam Chapman. But again, that's been when you look at the statistics, Matt Schmidt, and you analyse them, Aaron Russell's been far more consistent than Chapo. But Aaron not being here for Rd-7 is what's left him out of the points fight at the moment. We wait and see what the points matrix does to the championship equation later tonight. It's going to make for very interesting reading, because when you look at those points and you see that there's only 68 between Chapo and Russell's gifted the field a week because he wasn't here, I think Aaron might find himself on top later tonight if he can have a cleaner run in race 3 than he did race 2. And I say that because I get a feeling that race control might just attribute blame in his direction for that late incident with Braden Sagassa.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So what did you say, 60 points? That's 60, 70 points. That's a reasonable gap to pull in. But if you look at what Chapo's been pulling in every round, that's about what he's had. 66, 66, yep. 72, 56, 79, 62. So yeah, that's about what he's been pulling in. So with that one drop round, it will be very tight.
And it's extremely tough. Let's not, undersell the fact that it is extremely tough in GSRC Formula V to score maximum points haul. You look at what Aaron Russell did there at Road Atlanta, 81 points. That's been pretty good hunting so far, given that 90 is usually a winning score. 82 also for Aaron Russell at the Island. 73 was the winning score for Adam Lavis, 79 for Sam Chapman when they won the respective rounds at Summit Point and Rd-7, and 79 last week for Adam Lavis. So it is exceptionally difficult to score full points here on any given night. We have a couple of minutes ahead of us here, ladies and gentlemen. Trent Lavis has Aaron Smith for company on the front row. The field's a little bit depleted at this stage. We'll wait and see if any more join the server. We've got a few seconds in which to wait for them here and which to allow them to line up. Looks as though we have now got a full field. That's excellent news for all and sundry. Trent Lavis and Aaron Smith. Can we just have a look at track and circuit conditions? I don't think I've had a chance to really touch them all night, quite frankly. Let's go and have a look right-hand side of the screen. Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that, Matt Schmidtke? Isn't that bloody beautiful, right? 7:30 in the evening, ladies and gentlemen, and still broad daylight. And that is spoken with a huge high degree of sarcasm attached to it. And good evening to our viewers in Queensland as a result. 10 kilometre an hour winds, which are going in a mostly southwesterly direction, 24 degrees the ambient, 43% humidity, 26 on track, partly cloudy conditions and dry. But daylight, what a novel concept. You know why? They observe daylight saving, Schmidtke. I just wanted to get that in there, just in case there was any sort of confusion whatsoever amongst the rank and file. Yes, that's the benefit to daylight saving being laid bare to all, especially our Queensland audience at the moment. I just cannot wait for summertime when we'll have a 1 hour and 112-year time lapse to the rest of the eastern seaboard. It'll be magnificent. And about a 56-year time lapse to South Australia because they're only half an hour ahead. Have I made my point? Are we happy to move on and talk motor racing? Yep, good. Lovely. Now, just while I think of it too, folks, you may have missed this in some obscure, bizarre, strange, obscure scheduling, right, from the US Open Tennis Championship organisers. They've drastically overhauled trouble on the warm-up lap. Who's spinning on the warm-up lap? Is that Aaron Russell?
Sagassa and Zamora both had trouble through there.
I just didn't have a name attributed to it, so I couldn't get a good enough look at the car. But the funny thing is, the organisers of the US Open Tennis Championship have decided to play the mixed doubles in a very different sort of way to what you've become accustomed to and used to. Not playing it in conjunction with the main singles and doubles draw, instead playing it during what they've dubbed as Fan Week during the qualifying week for those looking to get into the main draw. They played it yesterday and today, Australian time, Tuesday, Wednesday, American time. And we want to say congratulations to Irani and Vavasori, who won the mixed doubles crown this morning on the Arthur Ashe Stadium. 6-3, 5-7, and 10-6 in the super tiebreaker. The final set, the way they play it is, of course, very different to the way you play a third set traditionally for everybody else. We're away in race 3 of GSRC Formula V for this 7th round of the campaign. Sun's starting to set at Zolder, but this will be red hot. And Trent Lavis leads the field to turn 1. Brendan Nealon's got the jump on Eduardo Zamora, Brett Bradbury, John Baldwin, Lockie Purvis. Unfortunately, it's bad news for Aaron Russell. He's dropped 2 spots already. The big loser out of the start was Aaron Smith, down 5 spots, and look at them all scrambled through. Jumbled up on the opening lap. But yeah, by the way, Casper Ruud and Igor Swiatek were the opponents of Irani and Vavasori there. They played Fast 5 rules for the qualifiers in the semi-finals, and then they played traditional Grand Slam mixed doubles for the final. So 2 sets in their full form, and then the third set is played as a match tiebreaker. So it's only trouble in the first of the chicanes, by the way, folks. A couple of cars off the road, including Chris Noble. Geez, he can't take a trick tonight. Aaron Russell with him. So that brings undone Aaron's good run. It was just it was just messy. It was just ugly. And clumsy, really, because it was bottlenecked and everybody got checked up and poleaxed into. John Merritt, his teammate Brendan Nealon sitting 4th at the moment, now 3rd, getting by John Baldwin. Trent Lavis leads Eduardo Zamora. John down the inside of Brendan, trying to find his way back to 3rd, does so for the moment, but Brendan will get the run. The momentum off the right-hander there, flick it back through the left-right sweeping kink. Now the run down to the left-hander to bring him through the right-hander back onto the main straight to end the lap. 1:47 gone. We're looking at again at 9 laps and just over 16 minutes of racing here, folks. GSRC Formula V race 21 up and away. Make what you will of the mixed doubles format and the decision of the US Tennis Association to run it. Oh, that's clumsy from Brendan Nealon. He's missed the braking marker on the run of turn 1 and checked himself up, really. He's given himself an invoice because he's just opened the door, the floodgates. He can't contain them. He's just getting gobbled up, swallowed at the moment. John Baldwin, Lockie Purvis, Brayden Sagasta, Brett Bradbury, John Merritt and Nathan Moroney have made their way by. And Brendan Nealon's dropped down to 9th. Behind him is Adam Lavis and Sam Chapman arguing over the same piece of real estate. And Chapo currently holds out and gets into 10th spot. Better dust being kicked up. Look at the lead that Trent Lavis has opened up. Excuse me, goodbye, catch me if you can. 3.6 to the good. Zamora, a bit of a moving roadblock at the moment in 2nd. To finish off the point about the tennis, because we were going around the grounds, that's the only other big sporting event to make note of today. 2nd Australia. Oh, geez, Eduardo did well there to not get clean bowled by John Baldwin. Rocky Purvis in behind him. 2nd One Day International on the subject of clean bowled coming up tomorrow, Australia and South Africa from Mackay, the Great Barrier Reef Arena. You'll see it on Fox and KO. You'll probably hear it on ABC radio as well. So that's coming up tomorrow, a big day for the Australians in the context of that series. They need to bounce back after losing Tuesday's first one-day international. And as for the tennis, US Open proper, the main draw card, which is now a 15-day tournament, like the Australian Open, gets underway 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Monday morning, not long after MotoGP from Hungary wraps up. And you'll see it on 9 Gem, and also, of course, Stan Sport. Hello, Craig. Good evening to you. 3 wide down the main straight. What's new? This is Formula V, of course, ladies and gentlemen. Down to the first quarter we go. We'll go back and focus on some motor racing for the moment. I just wanted to get all of the above information relayed out to you before I forgot completely about it as we make our way through one more time. So John Merritt, 7th at the moment, up 7 spots. Chapman up 6 spots. It's very hard to move your way forward here. I don't think anyone's getting the race win apart from T. Lavis here at the moment, Matt Schmidtke, because they're losing so much, huge chunks of time to him whilst trying to find their way by Eduardo Zamora, who's doing a magnificent job to defend his position at the moment. Uh-oh, Brett Buckley, gone. Watch out. Yep, there it is. Bottleneck. And Lockie Purvis was compromised in all of that. Aaron Russell as well is back on pit lane. So Purvis and Russell back on the lane. That definitely ends Russell's charge tonight. Brett Bradbury. Oh, got help. Got help. Now, was that Maroney? Yeah, I think it was. Maroney got into Barker in a not dissimilar way to the incident that we saw earlier in the race.
Yep, there we go, bang.
Chris Nigel and Joe Baldwin. Bang, yep, Maroney. So, again, good luck to race control. A bit of overtime on the paperwork front tonight for them. Here's Hendo. Hendo down the inside. Gets by Brendan Nealon. Nealon back down. He's inside on the run down to turn one. Hendo, of course, arguing for 13th place at the moment, chasing Brett Bradbury. Uh-oh. Oh, geez, I tell you what. That was close. Tight margins. Bare inches between them. Nealon compromised his run out of turn one and loses out as a result to Brett Barker on the run to turn two. Aaron Smith and Aaron Russell, with two completely different spellings of Aaron, by the way. 16th and 17th. Chris Noble and Lockie Purvis still on pit road. Noble's race is run. Russell's race is run as well. He's a lap down, so we may as well just bail out of it. But what he'll do here, Matt Schmidtke, is play it safe, pocket the championship points, ensure that he can complete 75% race distance, which in a 9-lapper is 7 laps. He's only a lap down, so it's to no avail in terms of competing for the race win and a top 5 finish and all those consistent points that we're talking about and elaborating on earlier. But in terms of getting to the finish of the contest here and banking some points, he just needs to now go about running through the motions, clocking the laps, ensuring that he finishes at least 7, even 8, preferably. Maybe, somebody else runs into trouble, can't finish the race. He might benefit by that and pocket a few extra championship points as a result, but only time will tell. But Trent Lavis's lead is out to 8.7, so he's taking Chapo's 10 seconds from Thruxton and saying, no, we can do better than that. 3 wide. Main straight. John Merritt. Braden Sagassa. Sam Chapman down the outside. The last 2 late breakers to turn 1. Sagassa's going to hold on the inside to second. So they've now finally got by Eduardo Zamora. Zamora's staying with them, holding tough in 5th place. He'll have Lavis, Maroney, Proctor, all looming, lurking large very shortly. John Baldwin's 10th. Joe Baldwin is 9th. Things could get very spicy very shortly here, Schmitty.
Yeah, I think they will. There's probably going to be a couple of people that are a bit further back than they'd like to be. Oh, Joe's gone quite wide there. And
Trucker was lucky to get away with it.
Yep, they'll try and make some moves to get a bit further up the field, I reckon.
These guys are all squabbling for the minors. Trent Lavis is gone. Oh, no, there we go. Trouble. Bye-bye, Braden Sagassa. Bye-bye, John Merritt. And John Merritt's off for a second time. It was brewing. It had to happen eventually. Here's how it did. Oh, no, more contact. So Sagassa got into the back of Chapo. Unsettled himself. John Merritt becomes collateral. Oh, Merritt trying to get himself back on the racetrack, just gave it a bit too much jandle, man.
Yep, he sure did.
How many times have we seen that this term?
More than I think we should have.
Red mist descends. Maybe a bit of coarse language as well under the helmet. Chapo, second. Now, all of a sudden, it's looking good as far as the round's concerned, isn't it? A 10th, the first, and a potential second. What has Adam Lavis got to say about that? What has Nathan Maroney got to say about that? Eduardo Zamora back in 3rd place now as a result of all that garbage between Sagasa and Merritt. And Thoburn's in the mix now too. A genuine 8-way scrap for 9th, although if Chapo can get away, it'll be a 7-way scrap for 3rd. Zamora at the helm of it. Lap 6 already, 3 to go this time by the line. Forget about Noble, he's done. Parked up, retired. Rocky Purvis may as well do the same because he can't score championship points. He cannot be classified at this point of the race if he loses this 3rd lap to the leaders. If he can get back out there, good luck to him. But if he can't, he may as well just park it now. Aaron Russell back out there in 17th. No one else has yet bitten the dust so bad that they've had to come to pit lane. So Russell's not yet able to benefit from anybody else's. What about Trent Lavis, hey? The only other time, and I mean this sincerely, the only other time we saw Trent Lavis on the grid this term in GSRC Formula V, you've got to look all the way back down to 26th position because it was round 1. A 1st, a 12th, and a 2nd. He's now got Aaron Russell for company, pushing him along. Russell's a lap down, but he doesn't care. He'll just sit there and push Trent Lavis along. No wonder the margin's out to 12 seconds. He's getting some assistance. That's fantastic. Chapo is 2nd. So again, Trent Lavis and Sam Chapman. I just had to sneeze. Just as I was making a good point too, I just felt that uncomfortable tickle in the nostril area, and thankfully I'm in a position now because I'm back in Ipswich. I've got the wireless headset on and I can put the microphone off very quickly and turn it back on without you hearing any of the coughing and spluttering that I normally carry on with. Eduardo Zamora's there in 4th. I was looking back at that first round. Sam Chapman a 2nd, a 1st, and a 20th. Trent Lavis a 1st, a 12th, and a 2nd. So not dissimilar to how tonight's played out. Trent, of course, didn't classify in race 1. Chapo was down in 10th. Trent, of course, had issues in... Trent did classify in race 1, but it wasn't at the top end of the scale. He ran into trouble with that dropout in race 2, finished down in 15th. And then now he's leading the way in race 3. So the same nights that Trent Lavis has scored a race win so far this season, by the looks of this, the way this one's playing out, 12 seconds to good now. So too is Sam Chapman. It's interesting how it plays out sometimes. The only difference is last time out, Aaron Russell took a win at Road Atlanta. This time around, it was Chris Noble bagging a win at Zolder. Joe Baldwin 7th at the moment. Up 10 spots is Trucker. On a bit of a charge here. But the problem they've got now is that Chapo and Lavis have taken off. Look at them. They're gone. 2 seconds to the good. See you later. Adam Proctor's there, holding on to 4th at the moment, struggling to go with them. 2 laps to go. Uh-oh, Eduardo Zamora. Goodbye. And on the tow rope for Eduardo. Now, was that an incident, or is that just outright frustration for Zamora? Let's have a look. We're under turn 1. I saw him light up the off-track alert. Oh, come on, Eduardo. You could have actually got back on the track there, mate. That's disappointing. Very disappointing for Eduardo Zamora. 27 minutes past 8, ladies and gentlemen. This will be a very quick post-race show for Formula V tonight, because at about 8:45 Eastern, the Porsches will be on the grid at the Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin venue, better known as Road America. And we're looking forward to bringing you that 7th round of the PanTec Industries Porsche Cup. Of course, by the end of tonight, we'll have a clear-cut indication as to who the championship contenders and pretenders are. And it's a fascinating scenario as we enter the final third of the season. 2 laps to go, 1 lap to go. In fact, sorry, my apologies. Chapman. Lavis. So Chapman in a Lavis sandwich at the moment, albeit the top side of that sandwich is 12.5 seconds up the road. But here's Adam Lavis, standing inside, trying to make it a Lavis 1-2 for Aussie racers. Not yet he doesn't, because Turbo's still got something to say about that. Side by side, nose in front now, Adam Lavis, he goes to second. Oh boy. Oh boy. How good was that? Trent is so far up the road, it's not funny. Lavis and Chapman fighting for second. Proctor is fourth, Maroney fifth. Joe Baldwin's gone through to sixth. Joe's got by John. But he's in a bit of trouble here because I think he's got to slow down to serve. He does. He'll lose 2 spots as a result of that. He'll lose out to John Baldwin and Delane Toburn. Trent Lavis is approaching the final corner, ladies and gentlemen. Trent Lavis is on his way home. Trent Lavis has yet another race win in GSRC Formula V. He's second of the season in only his second round appearance. Chapman and Lavis into the main straight. Chapman had his nose in front, got back by Lavis, side by side, photo, Lavis over the top. Adam got it by .00. He got it by the barest margin possible. It's a Lavis 1-2. And Chapman has to settle the third. Holy cow. Chris Noble, Trent Lavis, Sam Chapman race winners tonight. 7 weeks in which we've had 3 different winners in 3 races in GSRC Formula V, and that's why we love turning up on a Thursday night. Proctor in for 4th, Maroney, Thoburn, Baldwin, Sagassa and Henderson made up the top 10, and Brett Barker was 11th. Oh boy. How good is Formula V, Matt Schmidtke?
Just excellent. Another minuscule finish position. Wasn't for the win this time, but for second and third is still very, very nice. Oh, it looks like actually John Baldwin and someone also finished within .00 seconds of each other.
Correct. It was Lane Thoburn.
Lane, yes.
Lane Thoburn, yep, correct. Well, there you go. It just keeps delivering on a Thursday night. That's why we love it, ladies and gentlemen. It simply does not get any better than that. Although that being said, it's bad news for me because would you believe it? Right, I'm just going to share some insight with all the people sitting here at in GSRC Central Commentary and those of you tuning in at home, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sitting here in my usual commentary position, and I just thought, Christ, the light above me is a little bit bright tonight, right? Like the light that descends down when they're doing scenes of people ascending into heaven, right? And I just thought, because it's like a stadium light, I just thought, you know what, I'll put the lamp on tonight. No, the lamp does not want to play ball, so I've got to go off and do some lamp shopping tomorrow. But I'll just add that to the list of things that need to be done on a very busy Friday before we bunker down for the GSRC doubleheader tomorrow night of open wheelers. And, of course, in conjunction with that, we've got the GT Pro Invitational Series round from the Circuit de la Sarthe as well. So it's a very busy Friday night. Oh, Jesus. Going around the grounds before we get to Trent Lavis, because he's been kind enough to drop in and say hello to us, and it's been a while since we've had a chat to the great man. 12-0 South Sydney over the Dragons at the moment. 2.5 minutes to go the first half Thursday night football. In the NRL, in the AFL, it's Carlton and Essendon taking on one another in what is the round 24 fixture. The first of 2 for Essendon, of course. They play on the Gold Coast next Wednesday night in that rescheduled round 0 fixture. which has taken them all season to reschedule. Of course, Carlton 48 lead, Essendon 18 at the moment. 7-6 plays, 2-6 there. 5 goals the advantage in favour of the Blues at the moment. So, PanTec Porsche Cup coming up. GSRC Formula V done and dusted. You'll see that intro screen for a few moments there, ladies and gentlemen, because we've very quickly got to get out of the V server and line up in the Porsches because we're a little bit tight for time on the back of the rolling start that we had to all 3 races tonight, chewing a bit of time out of our GSRC Formula V post-race shows. So we'll get stuck into the Porsches still at the same time. Nothing changes there. It just tightens up the gap in between. Sam Chapman coming to you in a moment. Trent Lavis, welcome back to the grid and welcome back to Victory Lane.
Thanks, mate. It took me 3 races to work it out, but I got there in the end.
Well, I was going to say, you found it hard to work your way through in race 1, but secondly, what the bloody hell happened in race 2?
Internet just decided to proverbially the bed. So for about a minute or two, I came back in basically as everyone was basically going through the back section, unfortunately. So, but I guess the only saving grace there was it basically put me P15 for the start grid to be on pole for the final.
Best invert pole you've ever had, right?
That's one of the only ones I've ever had. I think I've only ever had one before, so I'll take it where it comes. But yeah, literally, I was struggling to work out the track tonight for some reason. I haven't been on the sim for over a month, so it's a bit rusty. It's probably not the easiest track in a V, especially to really optimise your speed. So, but I managed to work it out in the end. That last race there, I found a groove. It was pretty sweet.
Indeed. Let's talk about a couple of things here, because last week Chapo just waved to the pack as he was racing on through at Thruxton. He was about 10 seconds up the road and said, see you next Thursday. And you essentially have come out and done the same thing, except you've extended the margin out to 12. But unlike Chapo, you had a little bit of a helping hand. You had the assistance of one A. Russell, who has been a 4-man in this series, but unfortunately things just didn't go his way tonight.
Yeah, he popped out in the pits there on lap 3. He must have had an incident on the race and just followed me through like a little tail gunner. I don't know if there's any aero pushing these things, but the pace was pretty hot with him following me there. So, yeah, it worked out pretty well. And bar a few mistakes, it was a pretty solid race.
No, well, that's exactly right, mate. Obviously, disappointing that you didn't get a proper crack at it in race 2. But Zolder, again, we probably didn't know what to expect here, but it dealt out some beautiful racing tonight.
Oh, race 1 was wild. Like, it was, I think, a couple of times there was a few incidents that I very narrowly missed. Had to go off the track for one of them to miss some. But to come away with I think it was P3 or 4. I can't remember what it was. No, it was P6, sorry, race run. Yeah, it was still really good fun racing with those boys again. Once again, yeah, just a whole heap of driver areas put me back at the last little bit there. I think I was up on the podium for a bit, but just a bit rusty.
Indeed. There are the pictures coming in from Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. GSRC, PanTec Industries Porsche Cup coming up very shortly for you. Corey Lazarus, the current provisional pole sitter, 207.238. That'll come as no surprise to anybody, but there are a couple of little surprises here already, ladies and gentlemen. One is the re-emergence, the return of Brendan Whitaker and Anthony Adshead. Good to see part of the Whitaker stable back on the grid. The late arrival of Joe Baldwin, Eduardo Zamora, Brett Bradbury and Adam Lavis as a result, of course, of the overlap with Formula V being a little bit longer than usual. And at the moment, we're looking at a field of 45 lining up for the green flag for that 40-minute race, which comes up at 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. John Akers running into a little bit of trouble there out of Canada Corner. Trent, obviously things have been rather busy in your world, mate. But it's been a while since we've caught up in the sim rig. We did have the chance to catch up at Lakeside recently. What's happening, New World, Sim World, Real World, over the next few weeks to you? Any chance that you get up to Leyburn this weekend or not?
No, I missed the boat with Leyburn this weekend. I couldn't get a campsite essentially, so I didn't bother entering. But next month I'll be at Pittsworth for the sprints out there, which will be fun, in the Sylvia. Hopefully giving the top podium outright another nudge like I did at Nearmore the other week, which is great. and then that's pretty much it for the rest of the year until Noosa, until November. So Noosa Summer Hill Climb in November up at Tewantin. It's always a good event too. So for those that are in the area.
What dates are the Noosa Hill Climb this summer, please?
First weekend of November, I believe.
So first and second, so the same weekend that the circuit racing fraternity's out at Morgan Park. Yeah, right.
Next weekend, weekend after, sorry. The 8th.
Oh, okay, it's a night. Yep. Well, I was going to say there's still a circuit race meeting on, but it's at QR on that occasion. My goodness. 52 weeks in a year, and we always find a way to overlap. It's fantastic. In saying that, mates, good to see you back out there. Hopefully there'll be a chance for you, and you might be able to confirm for us one way or another here. Will we see you back on the grid in the V's in the next 3 weeks? Donington Park next week, Cadwell Park week 9, and Canadian Tire Motorsport Park Motorsport week 10.
Mate, if I'm not busy, I think next week I won't be here because I'll be down being a fan girl at World Time Attack. So I'll be down there checking it out because I haven't been before. So it'll be always good to catch up with some mates there. But maybe the week after, if I'm not too busy, I'll jump on for a skid for sure. And also, got to say, how good P1-2 for the Levi. It's not too bad for the Aussie races.
Well, that's exactly right. And Adam started in a photo again over his good mate Sam Chapman. And I want to actually, I'm not sure if we can see that finishing margin again, but it was 0.00 on my timing screen. So Chapo will be able to tell us how tight that was in a few moments' time. But a great charge from Adam. In fact, he's pretty crafty, pretty handy in these open wheelers, and nice to see finally some results falling his way, mates. And it wasn't until the run to the line in which he was able to confirm that. But nice for you guys. Is that the first time that I've called you guys to a 1-2?
I think there's only been one or two other iterations. I think in the TCRs that time, potentially. Many years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Where he did the fuel chase strategy. And
that's
got
right.
us all. Yeah.
That's Hockenheim. Yeah.
Yep.
In what we now refer to around here as Titanic CR. Excellent. Very good. You'll understand the context of that, won't you, Trent?
No comment.
No comment. Okay, good. Sam, the Sam Muir fan club's already in the house there, ladies and gentlemen. I think that'll do us with you, mate. Well done. Thank you. We're a little bit tight for time tonight. We'll have a quick chat with Chapo, and then we'll get stuck into the Porsches. Go well, especially with the trip down south next week, of course. I know there's a couple of big events coming up down there, of course, World Time Attack and also the HQ Nationals as well. So go and enjoy that, and we'll catch up in a couple of weeks.
I actually tell a fib it's 2 weeks from now, so I'll probably be on next week.
Good. And then hopefully back for week 10 as well, the week after. Good on you, T. Lavis. Well played.
Thanks, T. Catches.
Chapo, sum that one up for us, mate, because, again, gifted an invert in Heat 1. Caught up in a couple of different incidents, but you ended up 10th. You capitalised. You used that to your advantage. Took the win in race 2. It was always going to be a tough ask coming through from 15th, and Eduardo Zamora put up a hell of a defence. But eventually you found your way through to third place. It was second, but pipped at the post by the barest of margins.
Yeah, I was. It was quite the battle there with Adam.
It always is.
I'm going to blame my rear damage from being rear-ended in the thing, because I was a bit slow on the straights, but it was dead set close on the line. I thought I might just have him, but the line was that little bit too far away. So, great finish there. Unfortunately couldn't get that one done, but to be honest, given coming through from 15th and having a fairly, someone pretty seriously hit you at the back, you take third every day of the week. So. Obviously there was no catching Trent by that point, but we'll take that, and probably the round to go with it. So interesting night. That wasn't really a gift, I'd say. Race 1, it was a gift in disguise. I prefer not to be spun, but
True.
That's we'll also take the P10.
Well, to be fair, I was a little bit concerned when I saw you and Adam Lavis come together in race 2, but unfortunately, isolated incidents, and you left the poor bloke nowhere to go.
It was borderline. I did actually have a look back at that, because I was like, shoot, did I push him off the track there? And I'd say it was probably already veering off a little bit by the time I was not giving room. It was already in the gravel, but I think a bit of a 50-50. I could potentially see how you'd be aggrieved, but I don't think he ended up calling it in. So,
No.
I mean, he got me back race 3, right? So, you know,
Correct.
Credit where it's due there.
Answers everything out. Are you a fan of rolling starts in Formula V? I have to ask because Matt Schmidtke stitched us all up tonight.
I am when I'm on pole. Unfortunately, that was twice tonight. So it's yeah. I mean, it's. I don't think it makes a huge amount of difference. It's nice when you're on pole because obviously you can control the race a little bit, but you know also with these things, you know you get too far ahead and people can catch up quicker. So it's you know it obviously didn't really work race 1 as I was sort of trying to you know make sure I didn't get caught up in incident and then you know. Got caught up in an incident,
Of course, yeah.
but you know, it did very much work in that second race, and was able just to pull and hold the gap. Obviously, I was watching the delta to John very closely, and we were pretty much matching times there for the sort of first half of that stint, but was able to sort of pull away towards the end, which I was happy with. So I think get fastest lap. So we'll take that every day of the week. But yeah.
Bear with me. Trent Lavis, I'm noticing that you've poked your head into the Road America server. Are you burning from the stern here?
Mate, I've never driven these things before, so I'm going to give this a burn and see how I go. I might have driven them once, but I don't remember. Is it fixed setups or is it setups?
I got no idea.
It's open, Trent.
Oh, no. All right, I'll just run a baseline, let's go for it.
Why not? Watch Trent Lavis cut a rug from the back of the grid, ladies and gentlemen. 46th position alongside, at this stage, Joe Baldwin. That is going to be fascinating for all concerned. Chapo, next week, obviously by the end of tonight, we'll have a clearer indication as to where things sit with the drop rounds coming into the equation. So 2 questions. One, what's the plan of attack for the next 3 weeks to consolidate and cement this Formula V title, given that you led coming into tonight? And secondly, have you finally done some testing in preparedness for tomorrow night in the GT Pro Invitational at the Circuit de la Sarthe, please?
Yeah, so I mean, it's stay out of trouble and get as many points as possible. Get more points than Adam, Chris, and Brett that are there sitting behind. Oh, and Aaron as well. You know, with the drop rounds, it gets closer, but I think with the points tonight, I should still be out ahead, which is good going into the final few rounds and probably with a few better drop rounds in play. So that's a good thing. I'll probably need it given my escapades in round 9 and round 10. But I am looking forward to Donington Park, so that should be quite good. Providing, you know, once again, we get through the chicanes okay.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, on GT Pro, yes. I came home last night. We did some laps, and you know the pace is decent. We're getting there. I'm probably still not quite on Lewis's pace. I'm probably still a couple of tenths off that, but you know, but it's getting there, and we found a level of comfort with it. So. That's a good thing, and hopefully we will be, you know, competitive going into tomorrow. The team's got 2 cars in the top 5, so you know we'll be looking to hold that position.
All right, very nicely done. Good to catch up with you. Got to fly because we've got cars lining up on the grid imminently, and it will be a standing start this one. So no time to pad, if you know what I'm saying. Good luck tomorrow night. We'll be cheering you on. We'll hopefully have a chat with you over there on the SimSpeed Esports Network after 11:30 at the Circuit de la Sarthe, and we look forward to seeing you on the grid for Donington next Thursday, and Willow Springs, of course, on Monday for the Mazda. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, talk soon.
There's a lot on the way on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. There they are, Sam Chapman and Trent Lavis. We wish Trent the best of luck in the Porsches, burning from the stern on a track that is notoriously good for providing instant classics here on the platforms of the GSRC across Facebook and YouTube. Good to have you along, everybody. This is our continuing coverage of Thursday Night Motorsport across Facebook and YouTube of the 7th round of the PanTek Industries Porsche Cup, coming to you from Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Our second visit to the venue this week, and we can tell you that it's 9:30 local server time there. 2 km/h winds in a southerly direction, 22 degrees the ambient, and 72% degrees humidity, 28 degrees the ambient, the on-track temperature, I should say, partly cloudy conditions to go with all of that. Zach Caban alongside Matt Schmidtke. Hope you're enjoying the show. Big Thursday of sport, but it becomes even busier over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll preview all that for you at the end of the broadcast. We'll go around the grounds as well very shortly to give you an update from the NRL and the AFL. But let's have a look at the point situation. You know, this circuit, 14 turns, 6.5 kilometres. This is a 40-minute timed race this evening, folks. So we're back to 40-minute mode after having 4 sprint rounds in the first 6 weeks of the campaign. The elite standings for you there on screen now. No surprise to anybody, to all and sundry, really, that Corey Lazarus finds his way to the top of the summit once more. He leads 388, plays Hayden Smith 282 and Sam Ewer 277. So that is a sizable advantage for Corey Lazarus already. 247 for Ben Patterson and 220 for Jackson Rayhana, just one clear of Sam Chapman, who isn't on the grid tonight. The second of the points tables here is Eduardo Zamora, 224, leading Paul Wilson, 22, and 222, I should say, and Greg Heaney, 212, Dale Sharp, 206, and 199 for Jason Wilkinson. 25 points covers the top 5 in the Porsche Open Cup standings. And now we have 23 rows of cars lining up on this grid, ready to go for the only race of their 7th round of the campaign. And we can see that Corey Lazarus will share the front row with Patrick Klein. Second row, Ben Patterson, Sam Muir. Third row, Ryan Jones continuing to have an impressive run in no matter what car he lines up in at the moment, alongside Stephen Lawrence, Hayden Smith, Daniel Edmonds, Marcus Watson and Harry Lawrence make up the top 10. Jared Knight, Adam Hayne from 6, from 7 at Shannon Fever and Liam Banks from 8, and he has been promoted finally to the elite split. Good on you, Banksy. Jordan Pruden and Jeff Adams from row 8, Reg Burke, Craig Bond from 9, Alan Dawson, Dean Reddit from 10, John Akers, David Baz from 11, Jason Wilkinson and Eli Donaldson from 12, Adam Lavis, Barry Punter from row 13, Rodney Goller, Richard King from 14, Greg Heaney and Willie Blair from 15. 16, Quetta de Klerk and Dale Atkins, 17, Tristan Kosh and Edward Rollo, 18, Dale Sharp and Bobby Camo, 19, Keith Angel, and Eduardo Zamora, 20, Brett Bradbury and Peter Richards, 21, Mark Bowman and Joe Baldwin, 22, Trent Lavis, no Brendan Whitaker, no Anthony Adshead, and no Greg Levine on the grid at this point in time. We'll wait and see what the reason for that is. Matt Schmidtke alongside me in central commentary. This will be hectic, my friend. It'll be interesting to see if we can get through the the opening lap clean and unscathed.
Yeah, let's see how they go. Hopefully this goes better than my start in the GT3s on Monday. I don't think I made it to the control line before I was in the fence, so can't get much worse than that.
No, it certainly cannot. Only 4 rounds to go, but there are 6 races still to run in this Porsche Cup Championship, and thanks to PanTec Industries, and 6 races to determine who will be the champion in Term 3 of 2025. Beautiful start up on the outside from Patrick Klein. Pounces on Corey Lazarus to Turn 1. Lazarus will fight back on the inside under brakes and lead them through. Ben Patterson up in the second spot after an impressive run last week. Klein and Muir, Ryan Jones make up the top 5. And Muir unmistakable, of course, in that Pink Panther setup there in 4th position. Cleanly through turns 1, 2 and 3. They stretch down the back straight to 4 and 5. Daniel Edmonds has lost 5 spots on the opening lap. Bobby Camo has lost 7. In fact, Bobby Camo, Greg Levine, Brendan Whitaker and Anthony Adshead, all non-starters tonight. Bobby Camo now joins the server and now joins the circuit from pit lane, but right down at the very back of the field. It's a long way back from there tonight. Jared Knight's made his way through. There's trouble further back. There's trouble at the chicane. Sorry, not the chicane, at the 5th corner, at the left-hander. There's been a bit of squabbling there. Liam Banks, a tough initiation for him. Welcome to the top split. And this is his departure. Have a look at this. Uh-oh. Took to the grass, goodbye. We knew there was trouble, but there wasn't as much as what we thought there would be. Alan Dawson also caught up in that. Trent Lavis up 12 spots on the opening lap with the base setup. Brett Bradbury up 9 spots. Keith Angel up 8. Dale Sharp up 7. Dale Atkins up 6. Willie Blair up 6 spots on the opening lap. Off goes Daniel Edmonds and Reg Burke. Through the kink. There's always trouble when we head to that section of the racetrack. You hold your breath through there. Bondi's up, having a great start, up 5 spots. Tough week for him, of course. And we'll elaborate on that, on why, a little bit later on. he did briefly allude to it on Monday night, but of course, news came through on Tuesday that was overwhelmingly sad, tragic and terrible in every sense of the word, and news that's rocked the karting community in not just New South Wales, but also right around Australia as well. So more on that a little bit later on as we go down the main straight to complete the opening lap. Corey Lazarus, 2:16.113, the fastest to the first line. But look who is pushing him every step of the way here. It's Ben Pedersen. Can they go toe-to-toe, punch for punch here for 40 minutes? What can Pedersen offer up to Corey Lazarus? Lazarus has been a busy boy this week. Ryan Jones up one spot. He's displaced Sam Muir. Patrick Klein was displaced by Ben Pedersen. Top 8 are elite split competitors. You've got those two red boxes there, 11th and 12th at the moment. Those guys, Daniel Edmonds, Jordan Pruden, haven't yet been attributed to a split to either the elite or open, and therefore you can expect them, I'd say, to be elite split competitors by the end of the night. Tristan Koch in trouble early. Shannon Fever out of the race. And Marcus Watson also on pit road as well. So what's happened to Marcus, we'll have to find out. Tristan Koch also caught up and on pit road and has been for about 2 minutes.
I think
not the start Marcus Watson would have been hoping for.
I think Marcus might have been the car Liam collected when he went down the inside there.
That makes sense. Oh, poor old Banksy. And poor old Marcus. Marcus has just made a rod for his own back for the rest. That was the bottleneck that caught Tristan Koch out. And I'm not sure why Koshi's parked on the middle of the circuit there.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
It's a very obscure place to park. So, yeah, Marcus collected on the opening lap by Banksy, it would seem. What was interesting in all of that is that we know that Marcus will come back with vengeance. Whether Banksy's just made a rod for his own back there for the rest of the term, made what could be an ally into an enemy straight away, we'll wait and see. Lazarus. Pedersen the fastest otherwise, 2:08.676. Here it is again. So watch Banksy on the grass, out of control. Whooshka. Yep. Broken left-hand front for Marcus Watson. And still on the tow road. It's important to note. And it's a long tow around here as well. It's a bloody long tow at Road America.
Yep. And
the longer the circuit, the longer the tow.
I think lap 1 it sometimes gets even worse.
Oh, yeah. Tristan Koch's tow was 2:37.15 on that note. I think Watson's night is done.
Yeah, I don't...
2:08.76 for Benny Pedersen, the fastest over the race, though.
I don't think Marcus's car stopped moving, so unless that part of the track automatically sends you back to the pits, I think he might have found a certain button combination, i.e. Alt F4.
Yes. Yes. Yep. I'm willing to wager that you're spot on there. So, 16-0 South Sydney in favour of the Dragons at the moment. And it looks as though it's going to stay that way in Thursday night NRL. We'll get back to the AFL very shortly for you. Remember, next Thursday night, it'll be the EJ Whitten Legends game being played there. Fords come factory equipped with tow ropes. Hello, Dicer. Nice to have you join. No doubt with one eye on your teammate. Ryan Jones is doing nice work there in 4th place at the moment, chasing Patrick Klein. There he is. There's Jonesy. Lap traffic, of course. Tristan Koch moving out of the road. It's hard when you're already a lap down this early in the piece. Bobby Camo half a lap down, having started from pit lane a little bit later than everybody else took the green flag. Just over 6 minutes gone. We're in the 2:08s at the moment, so makes life difficult in terms of trying to calculate how many laps we're going to get in tonight. But if I was a betting man, I'd be wagering 18 and no more, because, well, if we're running 2:08s, if you take 10 laps, that's 80 seconds. Take a transit of the lane, right? So 18, transit of the lane, 10 laps, 80 seconds. If we're going 18, that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. That's 2.5 minutes. You're not going to get any change. out of that. Once you've done 18 laps, carry over the 2.5 minutes, carry over the transfer of pit lane time. I struggle to see how this goes any further. Although don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if we squeeze the 19th in there somewhere somehow. So 19th is probably the marker. But again, my maths is just eluding me at the moment. 15 times 8 is 120, so there's 2 minutes. So that's 38. Plus we'll probably squeeze a 19th in, but they won't see the white flag until maybe the 39-minute mark is my early prediction. Matt Schmidtke. Again, maths isn't my strong point, but I reckon 19's about where we're running to tonight.
Yeah, maths. I thought I was half decent, but I don't think I can do that math. I put it in the calculator, and 19 seems about the money from what I've worked out.
All right, good boy. Again, those of you that know me very well, Stridey and have been trying to, or Shitty as Stridey calls him, have been trying to steer me in the direction of using a calculator for months. Stridey particularly. But I just like to do it on, I like mental arithmetic. I like to do it on my head just to see if I've still got it. So far, so good. Corey Lazarus, Ben Patterson, Patrick Klein, the top three to the end of the fourth lap at Road America. 31.25 minutes to go here. Remember tomorrow night, Greg Heaney, Joe Baldwin with you. And we're looking, actually, Joe Baldwin's with us right now. That doesn't bode well. That does not bode well because our Oz E-Racers, mate, are you parked up already, trucker? What's going on, please?
Yeah, no, the recalcitrant Porsche can go back in the back of the garage and can stay there and sook for a while, along with the driver.
Oh, no.
Rough night at the office. I tried 3 different setups with the car and I can't stop at locking fronts. And I just have an absolute miserable time.
Yep.
So I just thought, nah, we'll get a new front bumper for it and put it away for a while. So
yeah, absolutely. In saying that though, mate, you also had a little bit of good and bad luck in Formula V earlier in the night. I'll come back to the Porsche in the moment, but give us the summations of the V.
Bit of a wild night in the V's, to be honest. Bit of netcode, like for some weird reason, tonight, seems like a couple of the guys are struggling with frame rates. I don't know whether it's a mini update or what it is or something about Zolder, but in race 2, that incident with Noble and myself there was about 3 feet between us, and it just gave me a big netcode and sucked me into him and just destroyed him and myself. And I had my foot on the brake, but it just went, because it knocked one corner off the car, it just went straight back in front of the hapless poor Adam Proctor, and he impaled himself into me as well. So, that wasn't Adam's fault. It just, with 3 wheels on my wagon, they don't do what you want them to do, right? So, it was a bit rough. The third race was pretty good. I didn't sort of want for pace, but I guess it's people, when you get a gap in front, and I think I've said this in other weeks, you've got to try and work together, and some guys have got that figured out, some guys haven't. So they got that gap between packs, and then everyone's sort of racing in their own little pack, which is a bit of a bugger. But it was good to see Mav had he had a good run at the end, and I think he got Chapo with a bit of side draft for second at the end of it. So it was pretty good racing up the front there.
By the barest of margins. I mean, we're synonymous. We're used to photo finishes in the V's, but that was the ultimate photo finish. Now, I must say I've missed you, mate. I haven't caught up with you for a couple of weeks because on a Friday night I've been out doing other work-related commitments, AFL and karting and other things. Tomorrow night, GT Pro. I finally get a chance to rejoin you and Greg Heaney next Friday night, but you guys have got a good little double header ahead of you tomorrow night as well.
Yeah, to be honest with you, off the top of my head, I can't tell you where it is. But look, Greg's good in the booth, and there's been some good racing. We were down on numbers a bit last week, but it was good racing in the Super Formulas anyway. It was a full wet race last week at Suzuka, not Suzuka, at Fuji. So that was pretty wild for the boys that were in there, but it certainly made for entertaining racing. And I just also want to give, while we're here and he's in the race, just a big shout out to Glenn Pedersen. He's all over the back of a guy that's been running in the top 5 in the world at the moment in different Porsche races. So,
and just as you say it, Joe, he's right there. He had a little bo peep. He had a look for the lead.
He is, yeah, that's right. You know, and I mean, Corey at the moment, he's just come leaps and bounds. I mean, since Denchi sort of took off, Corey's owned the class, and he's. But when Ben, you know, on his night, Ben showed that he's got the pace to run with anybody in a Porsche. So those guys, I mean, out to a sort of 2/10 gap up the front there, but. Yeah, that's, I mean, you don't need to see the numbers on the gap. You can see it visually right there. So, you know, Corey, one of the best in the game, and Ben's making him earn it tonight. We all know how good Ryan Jones is, and he's nearly six seconds back. So, shows you the calibre of Ben and Corey up the front here. And a bit of draft here might almost have a lunch down at turn 1, maybe.
Maybe, but he seems content. He seems very content to sit in and follow Corey through. I mean, there's a lot to be learnt from following this bloke around a racetrack. Let's be perfectly honest. There's a number 1 on the side of his car for a reason. But there's also, I reckon there's also a bit of gamesmanship going on, Joe, because we, like Benny's often said openly, that he just can't go punch for punch, pound for pound, speed-wise, pace-wise, with someone like Corey Lazarus. So I couldn't help but think that there might be a little bit of strategic gamesmanship going on here, because he knows there's a pit stop to be done. Maybe this will enable him to save just a little bit of juice, and then he can race hard with Corey in the closing stages of the race. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Corey's saving a little bit along the way here as well.
Look, when you're racing a guy like Corey, you've got to use everything in your toolbox, right? And if you can't beat him on outright pace and speed, you've got to, you know, go to the backup, which is strategy. And I'm sure Ben is, he'd be looking and learning as well. Is like you said, the biggest thing for him here right now is to learn. Have a look at the lines and his turn-in points, his braking points, where he's lifting. And I mean, Ben's going to know if Corey's saving fuel up the front there, but being in the draft, it's going to make it a little bit easier on Ben to maintain that pace. And if he's only got to save a couple of litres and follow him into the pits. And if he gets a good run into the pits and makes them, maximises it, he can come out in front. Whether or not he can stay there is going to be another thing, because apparently it doesn't matter who you are, how many names you've got in your name. Even 3-name guys from Sao Paulo can't hold off the likes of Corey Lazarus, right? And so it's, he's definitely an asset to the car. I think he's like 8,300 KI rating at the moment, which is, and to do it in this car, that's outstanding. So he's definitely grabbed that mantle of the benchmark of the Porsche Club. And it'd be nice to have Matt, do a few laps, come back in and have another run with him. But one thing, I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's actually an update coming to this car. I believe either in the December update or it'll be in the March update, but they're updating it to the 992.2, which is the current Cup car. So looking forward to that. That should be a good thing. They've hinted it a couple of times and all but confirmed it, but I believe that's the case.
We always love this time of the term when we start talking about, what's next in the content drop, what's coming up, what's the patch update going to look like, etc., etc. What's the BOP, and etc. and so forth. So it's an exciting time for the sim racing community to see what iRacing has up its sleeve at this time of the year. And that was Benny Patterson flirting with the wrong side of the ribbon strip, by which I mean the turf, the grass. And we're not whippersnipping tonight. You cannot afford to drop an inch. You cannot afford to give Corey Lazarus any sort of leg up, because he will snatch it and walk away from you. At the moment, it's remarkable. It's great to see that Benny Patterson is on rails here and keeping Lazarus as honest as anybody has in the recent past. This is as close a fight as we've had in the early stages of a Porsche race for quite some time. It is two of the best in the biz Certainly as far as the club is concerned, and as Joe has been alluding to, as far as the world is concerned in Corey Lazarus' case, 0.3 the advantage. Further back, we should go and just update you on a couple of other things. Ryan Jones sits third. He's got Sam Muir for company. Hayden Smith just got back by Patrick Klein, and then Patrick Klein's return.
They're having a good battle, those guys.
Side. Have a look at this. Klein, Smith, goodbye. Smith and Klein are gone. And I reckon Harry Lawrence might have been, or Stefan. Stefan has finished young Patrick Klein off there because it was looking like he was going to be able to save it. And then the extra tap from Lawrence has turned him hard left and off into the kitty litter.
Smith and Klein sounds like a brand of underpants you'd find at Myers, doesn't it?
Yep. Yep. It might be related to Calvin. I'm not sure. You're right.
Very well could be, but...
Oh, look at this. Look at these
Stefan's
two
having a
boys.
look.
Adam Hayne and Jared Knight. Adam's up 7 spots. Stefan is there in behind Jared Knight. Up 5 spots is Jared, and down 1 is Stefan. He wants to get back up the road where he was earlier in the piece. We'll come back to our leaders in just a moment. Nothing to report there right now. Daniel Edmonds is 9th in behind this. Hayden Smith has dropped to 10th. He's got Craig Bond for company now, and Bondi's up 7 spots already. Lawrence is down the outside of Jared Knight. Oh, boy. And Knight and gone. Whoa, look at this. Both the HGS entries are gone. Oh, can you believe this? Adam Hayne and Jared Knight off the road, and Hayne loses out more so, having dropped now. Oh, no, Bondi's now caught up as well. Bang! It's all unraveling at a rapid rate of knots at Road America. Bond off the road and back to 16. Stephen Lawrence now in the weeds as well. Well, it's taken a while to warm up and intensify this race, Joe Bourbon and Matt Schmidtke, but I tell you what, it was worth the wait. It has just blown off the Richter on this lap 9.
I think everybody was waiting for the camera to be on them before they decided to have any action. But, look, I feel sorry for Bondi there. Oh. He was up in about 7th position and just... Yeah, when that incident with them guys happened, and just as he tried to get around, I think someone, bit of a rejoin, and must have, it just went off camera under the bridge, and looks like it's up around the other side of the bridge here, just maybe not left quite enough room.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The 92, just, yeah, and a swap on the way through. Thank you very much.
Yeah, 90 may not have even seen Bondi coming there. We'll probably need to get a better look at that, actually, to be fair. And
don't need comments like that. Thank you, Craig.
Let's have a look at this just on the... Well, actually, yeah. I'll side with you on that one, Joe. Like, I'll go into bat for my little mate more times than not, but I don't think Bondi left enough room there. I think you're right. And I don't like making judicial statements like that, but it doesn't look like it. I mean, I don't think there was anything Knighty could have done there.
No, look, Knighty was hugging tight onto the inside curb and just, it looks like, a bit of the red mist for Bondi. He was getting up there and just, a matter of inches, 6 inches was all he had to leave. So
Ryan Jones had a little bit of a bobble there. He had a little twitch of the wheel coming out of turn 5. It's invited Sam Muir onto the rear bumper. Well, this has taken off all of a sudden. You mentioned tomorrow night, Joe, your double header. I'm happy to educate you and everybody else at home with regards to where we're going for that. Before I go around the grounds, of course, and update you on everything else that's going on. You will be heading to Circuit Zolder, but the Grand Prix configuration, so the tighter chicane for the Formula Fords, and sprint racing there as well. Then on to Motorland Aragon. For the Super Formula. So that'll be an absolute beauty. And of course, you'll also spin the wheel to determine where you're going on Saturday night too. Yeah,
look, they did. Oh God, I got brain fog, mate. It's been a big week, but I didn't get to race last week, wherever it was. To be honest,
GP1. So the international layout at the Bend in the old GP1s.
That's right. Was the Aston and the Chev at Tailem Bend. That's right. Was too. So, and to be honest, I don't even know who won. So yeah, we've been having a lot of family get together, birthday season, right? So yeah, haven't made many of the races this season, which is a bit of a bugger. But yeah, no, we'll spin that just as we go on intermission. See what they're going to do on Saturday night. I don't think I've got anything planned yet, but wait till we get to Saturday. I'm sure the wife will find something for me to do this Saturday night. But yeah, no, definitely looking forward to that. I think Aragon's going to be a fantastic circuit in the Super Formulas, and I mean Zolder, we had a good trip there earlier on, so it'll be the tighter chicane onto the front straight for the Formula 4. It's not the big high speed one that we use in the V tonight.
Yeah, we needed the high-speed one for the V, just to keep the speed up, quite frankly. Ryan Jones and Sam Muir still having a good ding-dong scrap for third. The problem is they're 9 seconds behind Corey Lazarus and Ben Pedersen, who continue to set a scintillating pace here. Lazarus last time around 2:08.366, but Pedersen, Lawrence, Edmonds, as well as Akers, Baz, Pruden, Lavis, and Golan, all in the top 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them set their fastest over the race that last time through lap 10. We're on lap 11. We're past half race distance. We get our suspicions that we're heading for 19 laps here as they make their way through past the kink and up towards Canada Corner. And Lazarus is just eking out that advantage now beyond half a second. Pedersen reels it back in the slipstream. Under the brakes we go to the right-hander, and Lazarus continues to control this race. Neither man has put a foot wrong so far tonight. And Reg Burke has just dropped it off the road for Entropy Sim Sports, so he will lose out a bit of the battle there that he was having with John Akers. He's now dropped right behind and lost out to Jordan Pruden as well, and David Baz, who's off the road as well. So Baz and Burke off the road and dropping down the order. And in fact, one of those, Reg Burke, has just dropped onto the tow rope. Adam Hay, actually go to the other end of the leaderboard. Mark Bowman's a lap down. Barry Punter's on pit road, and that's his second stop. Tristan Koch is a lap down. Reg Burke has parked up and is done for the night. Adam Hayne is getting to the point where he'll be struggling to be classified at 75% race distance if he doesn't get back out on the track, so he'll probably park up. Joe Baldwin, we're talking to Liam Banks, Eli Donaldson, Bobby Camo, Marcus Watson, Shannon Fever, count them. 6, 7, 8 different cars. Watch this. This is going to be dirty tyres. Bang. Come on, see you later. See you later. And back out. Oh, no. Yes, bang. There it is. Gone. See you later. Berkey had no control of the car. An absolute passenger.
And while I'm here, apologies to Ed Rollo on the touch at turn 1. There was, on lap 1, sorry. Got down to the end of the main, like the back straight. I was up the inside. I actually braked early, but there was an incident in front, and everyone just propped up, and I couldn't see it until everyone had started propping up for the incident, and I just couldn't miss. So yeah, apologies, Ed. I did wait and let him go. So do the gentlemanly thing, especially when you're the one making the error.
Yeah. So by my count, I think we've got 7 retirements so far. Corey Lazarus still leading the race, half a second to Ben Pedersen, 25 minutes gone and 12 laps gone at the completion of the one we're on now. This is the battle for third. Ryan Jones is doing a brilliant job because we know Sam Muir's no slouch in GT4 or Porsche Cup racing, and it's nice to see him back on the Porsche Cup grid, of course, but he's got one hell of a fight on his hands here to try and get onto the podium. Jonesy's been popping up ever more frequently in the last couple of weeks. We had a good chat with him after Super Formula a couple of weeks, Joe, but he's been popping up at the supercars, he's been popping up in GTs. He of course, was flying the flag. Matt Schmidt, he's after Matt Schmidt's heart because he was running the Lambo the other night, and Schmidt's about the only other bloke in the club that does that in GT3. And then, of course, he's popped up here in the Porsches. So Jonesy's proving to be quite versatile and quite difficult to handle as well.
He is, yeah. I think he had a bit of I watched the broadcast. He had a bit of a rough one last night in the supercars there. Actually, I think quite a few of the guys had a bit of a rough one there last night with the supercar, but always fast when he gets on point, and just, it just shows, you've either got it or you don't, and this is a guy who's got it in spades. So he may not have the pace of the two guys up the front, but who does? Like, there's another, what have we got, another 45 guys in here, and no one's even close to the front two. So he's certainly the best of the rest. He's shown, I mean, we all know how good Sam Muir is as well, right? So he's doing a good job.
Indeed. Sam will win the race out of the pits versus Ryan Jones, says Daiso, and Daiso says that with Jones is his teammate. That's the confidence that Daiso's got in his teammate at the moment. Have a look at that. Thank you, Daiso. Good to have you tuning in. I was going to say Trucker as well. Hard to believe that once this week's done, that's 7 gone, only 3 to go. Busy time, and no doubt you guys too. There's the mistake actually from Ryan Jones in turn 6, so you won't have to worry, Daiso, about the race to pit road, because Sam Muir is going to lead them to pit road at this point, having capitalised on Jonesy just putting a wheel or 2 wide going out of turn 6, and opened up the door. You could see him picking up the kitty lid up, and on the way through, obviously Sam Muir has taken 3rd away. He's just waiting for the door to open, and he wasn't going to wait for a second invitation, was Sam Muir. Up in the 3rd spot now, but the damage has already been done. 11 seconds the margin between him and the race leader. 12 seconds between him and the race leader, 11 seconds up the road to Betty Pedersen in 2nd, and that margin's ballooned out to 0.7 of a second, having been less than half a second for much of the night. A complete lap 13. We believe it's about 6 laps to go from here, ladies and gentlemen. Jones still can't beat me in a Porsche Cup yet, says Ms. Sim Racing. And spitting facts is what that's facts as in FACTS, ladies and gentlemen, not the old telephone machine, from Andrew Dyson. So very nicely done. 208.073, fastest lap of the race for Corey Lazarus. Hard to believe it's almost the end of yet another term, Joe Baldwin, but big business to come in the next couple of weeks. The AGM just around the corner, but also, of course, champions to be crowned. This year is just flying on by, mate.
It certainly is. Yeah, look, we're almost into term 4 in a couple of weeks, but big week next week with the AGM coming up. So just if you want to get involved, we've had another couple of nominations come in this week. So if you want to get involved on the committee side, by all means, dob your mate in, nominate them. Don't give them a choice. So we always need people in there to run the show. So obviously check in with your mate if you want to nominate him. But yeah, get in your nominations. And make sure you have a bit of time available on Sunday the 31st. I think 5 o'clock. I think that might be WA time. I'd have to. I'll get back to you on that tomorrow night. We'll come up with some details. But so next Sunday is going to be the AGM. We'll appoint a new committee, obviously a new president. As everyone's aware, I'm going to step down from the role just with some stuff going on in the background. Building house and different things. So, we'll end up with a new president, new vice president, and pretty much all the roles at the top of town are up for renewal. So, get involved.
Oh, well, most of us knew, Joe. I had my suspicions, but now you've confirmed them for me.
Yes.
So, 208.073 last time through for Corey Lazarus. Coming back to your point in just a moment, because I reckon now that you've openly invited people to get thrown under the bus, I reckon I'm in a bit of trouble. Down the lane straight we go. Corey Lazarus leads. The question is, when are they coming to pit lane? The second point is, they're about to encounter some lap traffic. We've got about 5 laps to go at the Road America Circuit in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Corey Lazarus, Ben Pedersen, Sam Muir, Ryan Jones, Daniel Edmonds, the top 5. And in comes John O'Akers. Pit stops have occurred throughout the rest of the field. We've just not seen any of them. Jared Knight, Dean Reddit, Patrick Klein, Craig Bond have all stopped. Bonding back to 18th, which is exactly where he started. Still a long road back to claw back the damage done in the earlier incident at turn 6. David Baz, Alan Dawson, Dale Atkins, Greg Heaney, Dale Sharp, Willie Blair, Eduardo Zamora, Richard King, Quinton de Klerk, Keith Angel, or Angel, depending upon which school you went to. Edward Rollo as well. Brett Bradbury showing a lap down, so too Peter Richens. Tristan Koch showing about a part of 2 laps down at this point in time. But he has already completed his second stop. And then you go back to Mark Bowman, and that's it. Everybody else is parked up and done, or may as well be, because they won't be classified on 75%. So that's going to be 11 cars out of business to this point. Only 9 on the grid, and then, of course, the 3 that were non-starters in all of that. Remembering that Greg Levine was qualified for the race, and Anthony Adshead and Brendan Whitaker were in there as well, but they did not partake in any of the contests. So we started with 43, so therefore 43 minus 9. Reg Burke being the first of the retirements, so 34 still on the track, 9 retirements thus far. Corey Lazarus, Dan Pedersen up onto the main straight now. Lap traffic about to play its part, but no, because the 2 leaders have headed to pit road. Important points here. Important moments this. Can Bernie Patterson one up Corey Lazarus on pit lane? Corey's been doing most of the heavy lifting thus far. What
I'm going to do,
dragging Benny Patterson along. Joe?
I'm going to duck on out and leave you to call the last 7 minutes of the race. Dinner calls. So, yeah, congrats to these 2 guys. I've already put on a fantastic race. So, hang.
By the way, just as you do go, do not be surprised if you see a nomination on the behalf of Sam Stride and Josh Zuno in my name tomorrow morning, because they've been trying to push me in the door. I haven't submitted anything yet, Joe. So if you see anything in my name tomorrow morning, it's probably come from those 2 gentlemen now that you've opened the invitation for people to throw their mates under the bus with regard to the AGM.
That too. And heartbreak for Ben Pedersen. He just slid through his box. So that's allowed Corey to get away to the tune of 5.5 seconds.
And that's it. Race over. Race done. It'll now be a case of consolidating second by a comfortable margin still for Benny Pedersen. Oh, geez, the only foot he's put wrong all night. Joe, thank you, mate. Appreciate it. We'll be cheering on the GSRC members tomorrow night in the GT Pro Invitational, and I'm sure you guys will be able to keep our audience up to date with that whilst we're over there calling that. Thanks for stopping in post-race. Bad luck, of course, but go well with the call tomorrow night. Enjoy the open world doubleheader. We'll catch up next week.
Definitely. Thanks, guys.
And that right there, Matt Schmidt at turn 5, that's just frustration now for Benny Pedersen. That mistake where he was wide off the exit of turn 5. He'll be spewing.
Yep, I'm sure he will be. He just missed the box by that much.
Oh dear. Defining moments in not just the round, but also the championship fight as well. This is just awesome stuff from Corey Lazarus. Withstood the pressure. And see, that's the thing. Take nothing away from Benny. Like, he's a magnificent competitor and he's performed so well this season. But it's those little 1%ers that let you down sometimes. We've only seen a blip in the road from Corey Lazarus once this season. It was Okayama. It was an off night for him, right? Sam Ewer, Ryan Jones, Daniel Edmonds and Harry Lawrence enter pit road this time by. Corey Lazarus is coming through turn 13 now. Ben Pedersen's not too far away. Trent Lavis, the only one in the field yet to stop, and he's up 36 positions, which is not bad considering that it's a stock standard setup for Trento. That's magnificent this evening as they make their way round onto the main straight. There goes Trent now. The stock standard Lavis Lobsy Racing Aussie Races livery. He makes his way down pit road. Lazarus returns to the lead, 5.7 clear of Pedersen. Newer has withstood the pressure of Jones, 3.3 margin there now. So Andrew Dyson was right, as much as it pains us to say it about Ryan. Yes, Dyson can read his teammate like a book. Harry Lawrence, Hayden Smith, Daniel Evans, Jared Knight, Jeff Adams, Trent Lavis returning to the racetrack, but he's now outside the top 10, but still a respectable run. All the same, burning from the stern. 43rd on the grid. Not bad at all as he makes his way back out onto the main straight. Bondi up to 16th as the field is now cleansed. We're racing to the checkered flag, 3 laps to go. 2 at the line for Corey Lazarus. The interesting thing in all of that, again, take nothing away from Ben Pedersen's efforts tonight, but the difference is nailing those 1%ers. We know the entry to pit lane is always a talking point. We know the vital moments of the race that can often take place there. It is so important to hit your markers because you get crucified if you don't. It's one of those points that Nick Fodiatis, of course, raves about when he's in central commentary. Practice your pit entry, do this, do that, do that. And it all centres around pit lane. Races can't be won on the pit lane, but they can certainly be lost. And unfortunately for Benny Pedersen, that was the case tonight, Matt.
Yep, it certainly was. Just, yeah, like you said, Nick always says, practice your pit entry. I always forget. We get to the end of qualifying and I go, oh crap, I was supposed to practice my pit entry, and then I just wing it. And it has bitten me more times than I care to admit.
Indeed. Oh dear. We are going to start the penultimate lap of the race now. Corey Lazarus coming through. So we'll have about 45 seconds of regulation up our sleeve when the last lap starts next time through. The penultimate lap, this one, lap 17 of 19. Lap 18 of 19, 17 in the books. Ben Pedersen, Sam Muir, Ryan Jones, Harry Lawrence, Hayden Smith, the top 6. Lawrence having another good run up, 5 spots. Biggest mover so far? Trent Lavis at 25, but we know he's not getting the bonus points because he didn't qualify. He's up to 8. That's incredible. Still, all the same. 11 for Dale Atkins, 10 for Dean Reddit, 11 for Arnold Lavis, 12 for Rodney Gollan, 12 for Dale Sharp. Take your hands out and smash them together. Eduardo Zamora's biggest mover of the night so far, plus 14. But the question is who qualified and who didn't. So I might get Matt Schmidtke to bring the qualifying results back up at the end of the race. Just so we can adjudicate who qualified and who didn't, because that will have a big say on the bonus points attributed to the server, to the points matrix for the drivers. Because if you didn't set a qualifying lap, you're ineligible for the bonus points. It is based on qualifying position. You have to qualify to be eligible for the bonus points for the most positions gained during the race. Only because too many people were getting those bonus points purely through burning from the stern, from starting last on the grid deliberately, intentionally, just to see how they could go. And the club has clamped down on that in recent times. Corey Lazarus, Ben Pedersen, Sam Muir, Ryan Jones and Harry Lawrence, the top 5. And a lap and a quarter to go in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Prudent there, riding on board with him now. 11th. Can he steal the top 10 from Dean Reddit in the final stages here? Craig Bond's up to 16th. David Baz is the leader of the open split. Jason Wilkinson and Dale Atkins second and third at the moment. Greg Heaney's just got by Dale Atkins. Greg Heaney's just gone by Dale Atkins for third in the all whiskey business battle for the final spot on the podium in the Porsche Open Cup. Oh, and Jordan Prudhomme was up the road there momentarily. So that will relieve the pressure of Dean Reddit right now. This is how Greg Heaney got by Dale Atkins. Atkins has made a mistake, hasn't he? Yep. Bold it wide at turn 5. How many times have we seen that tonight? White flag is in the air. Corey Lazarus is on his way home. One more time around at Road America. And in 19 laps, we're going to rack up close enough to 120 kilometres here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 6.5 kilometre circuit, of course. It's one that we know. It's one that we love. And yet again tonight, it's produced a classic in the Porsches. A classic that's going to have a subdued sort of finish attached to it as far as the race win is concerned, because we were denied the chance to see that battle play out all the way to the end after that little slip for Benny Pedersen on pit road. Nice move, Craig Bond on the inside of Rodney Gollan for 15th outright. Under pressure immediately on return, down to turn 3. Bondi's eyeing off Adam Lavis. The battle for 14th is on. Closest battle on the racetrack now. But at the front, all class from Corey Lazarus. The championship statistics speak for themselves. The lead coming into the round tonight was in excess of 100 points. It's 106. It only needs to be a couple more than that in 2 weeks' time. Oh, there goes Rodney Gollan off the road. Too deep and gone at turn 5. And Bond on the inside of Lavis goes to 14th. Nicely done. Recovery mission from the youngster. He was 11th when he was involved in that incident involving the HCS entries, etc., etc. But he's fought back well. Lazarus, Pedersen, Muir, Jones, Lawrence, Smith, Edmonds and Knight, with Adams and Prudhomme the top 10. And Corey Lazarus is taking the checkered flag now. Job done. Victory is his at Elkhart Lake in Wisconsin. The Road America circuit A very happy hunting ground for the championship leader. Ben Pedersen in for second. Third to Sam Muir. Holds off Ryan Jones. He fought back well with a 3-second deficit on the exit of the pit lane and just missed out by 2/3 of a second. Lawrence Smith, Edmonds, Knight and Adams, the top 9. Jordan Pruden's going to come home in 10th. Holding off Jono Akers, Patrick Klein, Dean Reddit, Craig Bond and Adam Lavis, the top 15. There they go, all across the line. And Lazarus's championship statistics really speak for themselves. That was his 8th win of the season. The only blips in the road, that second race at the Yokohama International Circuit, the 6th place at Circuit Park Zandvoort in the absolutely chucking it down rain that we had a couple of weeks ago in the feature there. And of course, second last week in the feature race to Ben Pedersen at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. So we've now had 11 races in this campaign. There are still 5 to go. Lazarus has ensured that he will walk away having won at least half of them. 2:07.980. He finishes with the fastest lap of the race as well, just to add insult to injury, just to put the icing on his cake and rub salt in the wound of everybody else. And he's the only driver in the 7s all night. Oh my goodness gracious me. Oh boy. Well done too, by the way. David Baz, the winner of the Open Split in the end, I believe it was. Yes, got the job done there. Held off Jason Wilkinson, Greg Heaney, Dale Sharp got the better of Dale Atkins on the final lap as well. So Atkins dropped from 3rd to 5th in the Open Split in the final couple of laps. Eduardo Zamora, Richard King in behind him. We'll have a look at the results. Can we just have a look at the qualifying results firstly as well, Matt? Can you bring them up for me just so that we can see? Here's that run of the line. Atkins got it loose off the final corner, and Sharpie's just ploughed up the outside, just vaulted up the outside. Also might have got a little bit of a toe from Greg Heaney as well. No time for Brendan Whittaker, Joe Baldwin, Trent Lovis, Anthony Adson, Greg Levine. Okay, so 3 of those didn't even bother starting. That's fine. It was only Joe and Trent that were burning from the stern, which means that Eduardo Zamora plus 14 will be most positions gained for the race. Ahead of that man there, Dale Sharp, with 13. And that was as far as the Open Split was concerned. As far as the Elite Split was concerned, 11 for John Akers, 11 for Rodney Golan, 10 for Adam Lavis, and that's it. So it will go Eduardo Zamora, the bonus points for the Open Split, and John Akers up 11 spots into 10th outright, the bonus points for the Pro Split, the Elite Split, with regards to the bonus for most positions going during the race in round 7 of the PanTec Industries Porsche Cup. Let's deal with some rather sad news off the top here before I get into the post-race show, ladies and gentlemen, because we've been dealing with far too much sad news throughout the course of this season, and more again this week. And I don't want to finish on this note, because I'd rather finish on a more happy, cheerful, positive sort of note, and we'll do that by going around the grounds and looking ahead to a big weekend in motorsport. But my little mate from Gundagai, Craig Bond, joins me at this particular point, and I'm going to hear from him and get his take on the race in just a moment. We've got Trent Lavis have a chat with us as well, but just indulge us for a moment, ladies and gentlemen, because you might recall on Monday night, whilst we were here after GT3, Bondi sent a shout out to young Joseph Bianchini, who was not in a good way, had suffered a health episode in the lead up to the race meeting that Bondi, of course, won in KA4 Junior over the course of the weekend there, the Black Plate event in Griffith. I was partway through my trip home on Tuesday, and we opened up social media to find the news that Joseph has in fact passed away. And it's sad news, and it's absolutely shattered the entire karting fraternity here in Australia, because Joseph was a young star on the rise that was competing in the Karting Australia Nationals. Recently, of course, the championship visited our neck of the woods here in Ipswich. Bondi, being a mate of Joe's, will say something in just a few moments' time. But I wanted to cover this off and send our condolences because I had the great fortune, actually, of chatting with Joseph shortly after he carved up at the Riverina Cup in Griffith last year when I was down there for Karting New South Wales before they went back to being sanctioned by Karting Australia. Made the 8-hour trek out there and made the 8-hour trek back. And unfortunately enough, I was attending a funeral the very day after that event. So there's a real sort of weird connection to talking about that event and now talking about Joe's passing. Being a teenager, it's not the sort of news you want to be reporting. It's tragic. It's very sad. There's a lot of people doing it very tough the last couple of days as a result of this rather sudden and unexpected departure of a young star that was on the rise in Australian karting and was going to be a name to watch going into the future. Unfortunately, that's been cut incredibly short, and that won't come to fruition, and we won't have the chance to revel in any would-be potential future success of the young bloke. And it's a really sad time because, you know, we're sending our love and our condolences to the Griffith Kart Club, to their members, to the family of Joe Bianchini, to all his friends as well, and anybody else that's doing it tough in the wider karting community as a result of this news, because especially his parents too, because the age-old adage that parents should never have to attend their children's funeral. They're going through something that no one should ever have to go through at the moment, and we want to wish everybody down there the very best, because it's going to be a very difficult time for those. And he was such a lovely guy. He was the life of the paddock, always so welcoming, hospitable, and welcoming, and so I've said the word welcoming twice. I apologise. But it was always so cheerful, welcoming, happy to catch up with you. And I only met him once, and that was at that Riverina Cup that I just mentioned. But everybody else has spoken so lovingly and so positively about just his general mannerism and the way that he went about his business in the karting paddock, and success or not, he was always a young gentleman off the paddock. So we want to send our love and our best wishes to everybody down there in regional New South Wales at the moment, because it is truly a very sad time. So, Bondi, I wanted to bring you in at this point in time because I know you were feeling it particularly tough when the news came through on Tuesday, knowing that things weren't crash hot when we spoke to you on Monday night either, mate. We'll get to your on-track result in a moment, but and obviously once we know any tributes that are being paid and any, of course, information with regards to celebrations of life, etc. and so forth, we will pass that on, ladies and gentlemen. But Bondi, as someone that, you know, considered Joe a mate, we feel for you at the moment, buddy, but no doubt it would have been nice to go out there and pull victory off and tip the hat in Joe's direction tonight. You weren't able to do that, but it's been a bloody tough week. It must be difficult to put that to your back of your mind and focus on the task at hand, but at the same time, it's nice to have something to distract you at a time like this where everything is just really, really sad. I can't hear you at the moment, Bond. Can't hear you. I can see the light on, and I know you're there, buddy, but I actually can't hear you at the moment. I've got Trent Lavis and Greg Heady standing by. I'm going to go around the grounds. I'm going to let Bondi sort that out. Rabbitohs 40 have defeated Dragons 0 in the NRL. Greg, am I allowed to spoil the AFL for you?
Oh, I checked it before, and I'm kind of glad I didn't go tonight, so go right ahead.
11-8-74, Carlton leading Essendon 7-6-48 at the moment. Are you there now, Bondi? The lights are on.
We can see you blinking, we just can't hear you, mate.
Yep.
Is this working now?
That's better. We've got you now, mate. So, yeah, again, from us to you, condolences. We know you're doing it tough, buddy, but just sum up the feeling, the vibe, the mood of the last couple of days, because I know this has been a huge shock to not just you, but everybody else closely connected to Joe and the Bianchini family.
Yeah, well, you said the lead up to this really well, actually, Zach. So yeah, not much more to add on that, except yeah, it is really sad news, and rest in peace, Joseph, and best wishes to his family. But it was a great driver, great talent, and gone way too soon, only age 13, and it's really disappointing because when there wasn't much competition, he was always there to give me that battle, and honestly, he would have gave me that challenge on the weekend, and yeah, it's real tough.
Yeah, and that's the point too. He was meant to compete on Saturday. His medical turn actually happened on Friday night. So there was already, a tinge of sadness in the paddock, knowing that was unfolding whilst the event was happening. And no one wants to see it end this way. It's truly a very sad time for Australian karting. No doubt about that. And no doubt there'll be some tributes at the next round of the Australian Karting Nationals in Joe's direction. So keep an eye out for that when the 7+ coverage kicks in on the Father's Day weekend. Bondi, must be terribly difficult to try and put the sadness of this week to one side and focus on the task at hand. But by gee, you had a good bloody start until you ran into all the trouble that the HCS boys had caused.
Oh, tonight's yeah, it's been a rough night. Last night was definitely way more difficult with all the Joseph stuff. Tonight I was probably able to get past that better, and was having a really good chance at something good tonight. But yeah, just too many incidents. One was because of me early in the race, and then I've just been getting into all the mess and incidents throughout the race. So not a way I wanted this race to go tonight, but hopefully we have better luck next weekend for the rest of the season.
Mate, did you hear from race control with regards to the incident with Jared Knight? Because I mean, we had two looks at it. The first look didn't really give it away. The second look would have suggested that Jared had nothing more to do there. He wouldn't have been able to give you any more room if you tried. Did you just go a smidgen too early and try to overtake him? Did you chop him off?
Well, there was no race control, and I've got.
Oh, okay. Oh, good luck with that.
three reports to submit after this interview, actually. So.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm an ultra aggressive driver. You know that, Zach, and
True.
I think I just was too
I've raced
aggressive.
Formula 1 with you. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's annoying. I think I put myself in a lot of difficult situations like that, but I thought I had the somewhat gap, and then I've left him probably 0.99999 car width instead of the full one, but yeah, we'll see what race control has to say about it, but yeah.
All right, mate. In saying that, though, to take the positive out of the negative, you had some good pace. You were up 7 positions early on. Things looked to be going well. Obviously, it's unfortunate to run into those incidents, but you would have been happy with the pace you had early on.
Yeah, thought a top 10 was actually going to be on tonight, and wherever ended up finishing before my drive-through penalty post race, whatever you want to call it, comes in. I was actually, I think, got to 15th or 14th something, which was a really positive part, and would have loved to get myself up so much further, but is what it is, and yeah, we'll move on.
All right, mate. I don't want to hold you up too long because I know there's... oh, no. Jared Knight's chiming in saying, sorry, Bondi, whether he thinks he was to blame for that incident or not. Truthfully, I mean, I don't know. We'll get a replay of it shortly, the full extent of the incident between, Jared Knight, his teammate, Adam Hayne, and whatever else was going on down there. We'll get a better look at that. But yes, Nighty was hard up on the inside of the next quarter when Bondi's come through. You wouldn't have been able to believe your luck having potentially 2 positions gifted to you, but then getting caught up in that didn't help matters. In saying that, mate, you've walked away with 12th provisionally. Again, we stressed there was no race control tonight. They've got some tape to review tomorrow, not just from this, but from Formula V as well. So everything we announced beyond this point is provisional. Give us your thoughts on what comes next, mate. Are you heading out to Dubbo for the karting out there this weekend, or is it a weekend off for you on the karting front?
Oh, suddenly a weekend off since we don't have money to go to Dubbo this weekend. But
Yep.
I've got work, and that's not going to be fun. So
No.
yeah,
That was
now I've got a
the-
bit of testing on Sunday morning, and then into racing weekend up next weekend.
Yeah.
Instead.
Matt Schmidt, do you mind just rewinding that back about 20 seconds to the start where the HTS boys come to blows, and then letting us have a look at that all the way through if you can, please. Here it is. So HTS boys, 90 is on the inside there. Adam Haynes, the one that's gone wide. He's got it all crossed up. Lawrence tried to take evasive action. That's poleaxed 90 in the wall. He's had nowhere to go. 90's then limping away from the scene to the next corner. Yeah, and that's how that's happened, unfortunately. And then Haynes got another clip through on the wall. Oh, it was just messy. It was unfortunate because, I mean, that genuinely took 3 contenders out of the top 10 fight, and the 4th, if you include Bondi being an inadvertent bystander there. Benny Pedersen, welcome to the conversation. Can we delete this YouTube video? I don't want to see that pit stop ever again. Mate, the one moment of the night, unfortunately for you, but well done on second nonetheless. Bondi, bad luck tonight. Well done again on the black plate earlier in the week. We're thinking of you with regards to Joby and Cheney. Of course, we know that once tributes are held, you'll be attending, no doubt. We look forward to following your progress when you get back onto the racetrack. Does that now mean, with no racing in the real world variety this weekend, that we'll see you back in a Super Formula entry tomorrow night, or a Formula Ford even?
Super Formula, since I've got work early on tomorrow night, which is bloody annoying, but should be in Super Formula. Might give Australian Wheelie Spin Tour a go again, hoping for something better than previous weeks. And yeah, there is meant to be a tribute to Joseph on our cars once I'm given permission.
Yep, copy
And
that.
as far as I know, I probably won't be making his funeral due to karting commitments, if
Copy
it's
that.
the date that I've been told.
Copy that. Well, you'll keep us posted accordingly, and I'm sure that there'll be a stream that people, that seems to be common practice these days, that if you can't be there in person, you can watch a stream of it. So once we know the details, I'm sure they'll be readily available. We can be slow. Pit stop buddies, says Ryan Jones to Ben Pedersen. Jonesy, Andrew Dyson dobbed you in straight away and said that you'd lose your battle with Sam Muir on the pit roads. So he was proven to be correct. Can we just have a look at the race results again, please, Matt Schmidtke? Because I feel as though I've stitched myself up there. Because for whatever reason, I'm getting a replay of the timing screen as well as a replay of the broadcast, instead of just having a locked timing results screen. So I said Bondi actually, I knew I was wrong when I said Bondi came through in 12th. That was Adam Lavis. Bondi's come through in 16th position as a result of all of the garbage that we just mentioned there earlier. 90 recovered for 7th. Again, we stress most of that is provisional because we didn't have race control on deck tonight. Lazarus's winning margin, 8.85 seconds. Sam Muir held off Jonesy. Credit to Jonesy, he fought back actually. The deficit, the advantage that he gave Sam Muir through the pit stop, he had an invoice to redeem, and he reeled it in pretty well, but ran out of time to finish the job. And Harry Lawrence in for the top 5. He's been impressive so far too this season. Hayden Smith, Jared Knight, Jeff Adams, John Akers, and Patrick Klein the top 10. Bondi, I know it's been a tough week for you, mate. We'll let you go. I know you'll probably tune in and watch the end of the GT Pro race tomorrow night once you're done with Super Formula. Good luck with that. Good luck with everything else that's coming up. Good luck with the work as well. in the fast food industry of Gundagai. And when's the golf game resume, please?
When I can find time, when I'm not racing virtually or real life. So
I love it.
I think the last time I played was a month ago. So
Oh, dear.
swimming club again soon.
I love it. Very nicely done, mate. Great to catch up with you. Thank you again for your time throughout the course of the evening, and well spoken with regards to Joe as well. Good luck for tomorrow night, and we'll catch up on Monday night when I'm back in the booth.
Yeah, thank you, Zach.
Drift odds photography. Can anyone teach me how to gain 5 seconds? Oh, the banter's rife on a Thursday night, isn't it? See, I told you we had to do this bit first because it'd get out of hand if we tried to do the serious bit last. Greg Heaney's here. Trent Lavis is here. Greg, stand on by. Coming to you in a moment. Hey, Trent, burning from the stern goes all right. 26 spots gained, 7th place. Well done.
Not too bad for literally not turning a single lap until lap 1, so I was relatively happy keeping out of all the mess at the start there and just found a groove. And I didn't start obviously finding the pace or anything like towards the end of the race, but I had pretty good pace there, doing low 9s, high 8s towards the end there, which is good. So yeah, maybe I'll give these things a bit more of a touch later in the year. And baseline setup went all right.
Well, that's exactly right. Proof that it can be done, but does it irk you that you didn't know that it was open setup until we told you so? And does that then, you know, the positive result that you've had here and the good showing that you've been able to put on for us at home? We were constantly checking in, watching the totem pole, seeing plus 20s at one more point next to your name, plus 30s before you came into the pits. Does that entice you to maybe entertain the idea, when time permits, of course, to have a bit more of a play with the Porsche and see what you can do?
Oh, only if time permits, but I won't have time to develop setups and all that sort of rubbish. So I'll never be like ultra competitive, but I'll jump in for a bit of fun and give some people a bit of a hurry up if I get the opportunity, that's for sure.
All right, mate, very nicely done. Now, actually, you mentioned racing commitments that are coming up. I'm actually surprised you haven't been approached about running a Hyundai Excel at their Enduro at the end of next month, quite frankly.
No, I'm not cool enough for those kids, I don't think, mate. But I'm sure I'd do all right given an opportunity. But I don't think my name is how'd you put it? Elusive, was it? Respected enough, I suppose, in the community, not known well enough. If
you're interested, I'm sure I can put some feelers out to the right people. I'm not going
to say no to an opportunity. So if someone needs a bill man or someone drops out, I'm pretty sure I'd do all right. So, yeah.
There's a reason I mentioned that, and it will be revealed in the next couple of weeks. However, let's focus on what's ahead of us here. Let me ask you this. If you had time, right, and we know time's of the essence, and we know that everybody's getting busier, me included, I feel as though the year's just got away from me, right? If you had time to invest in one series out of all of our offerings, what would that series be and why?
For GSRC?
Yeah.
Good question. In terms of investing my effort,
and attending every single round. Try to put a championship together.
Present or future?
Right now, what we've got at the moment.
Geez, I don't know, mate. That's a hard one. Let me have a think. Let me have a look at the calendar. I don't even know what everything's on yet. So let me have a squeeze.
All right, you do that. And then maybe give me a future suggestion as well, because the committee's always looking for ideas.
You know exactly what my future suggestion would be, mate.
Do I?
87 NASCARs on road courses will be my absolute king.
I'm sure Joe Baldwin would be right there with you on that. Unfortunately, as you might have heard earlier, he's stepping down from the president role of the GSRC, so I'm not sure how much weight his opinion will carry going forward with regards to circuit selection and calendar assignment and alignment. But no, it'll be it's certainly a suggestion put forward that Greg Heaney and Matt Schmidtke can take on board. 87 NASCARs on road courses, boys. I reckon that'd be well attended on a Wednesday or a Friday night or a Saturday night even. There's
Maybe the
always-
first couple, but I reckon it'll whittle out pretty quick. They're hard. They're not easy to drive, so they are a challenge.
They are indeed. All right, stay there with me, mate. Coming back to you in a moment as soon as you've got an answer to that, because I'm interested to hear what you come up with. In the meantime, let's bring Greg Heaney into it for a moment. Is it just me, or did Dale Atkins gift third position to you there at one point in the open split race, please?
No, we had a cracking little battle going on between us two, between myself, Dale, and Dale Sharp as well. No, I think it was just a little bit of back and forth, and I think Dale had a little bit of a slip up through one of the corners, and I managed to close that gap back up, and then I was flirting with the drive-through. I think I was sitting on 14 incident points by the end of the race. The 4X off the start as a thank you for a rear contact from somebody. Probably didn't help the cause, but and then just we tweaked the setup a little bit from what we had, just to try and get a little bit more straight line out of the car, compromising the downforce off the back of the car a little bit, just to take a bit of drag off. But it was it was on edge for us. I think I was probably just pushing it a little bit too hard, but no, it was a good little battle. And yeah, Dale come up beside me on the last lap, and he's like, "I want it back," and I'm like, "All right, well, if you want it back, I'm going to fight you for it." And yeah, then he had coming into the last corner, he gifted Dale Sharp the position because he had a bit of a rear lockup, and ended up running a little bit deep in the corner. Still kept it on the road, but lost out to Dale Sharp.
I've just had a thought of something that I'd like to see on the subject of what I was talking to Trent Lavis about. I mean, he'd like to see the 87 NASCARs, but go one number down from that. We haven't seen the Toyota Rd-6s on our GSRC platforms for a while. If we're going to go back in the direction of one make and make it a one make Thursday, if the V's have to part way for a little bit so that we can bring the Toyotas back, I reckon they'd go all right too, given the amount of numbers that we've been seeing in real world interest as far as the Toyota Rd-6 scholarship and obviously Premier Series is concerned there for them at this point in time. Trent, have you had a chance to have a look through that calendar yet?
Yeah, I still don't know what I do. Probably Formula Ford would be a good one, and Formula V.
Yep.
They're always good fun. Yeah, that's probably my answer. But in terms of future, definitely some sort of, the NASCARs on road courses are just a heck of a lot of fun with a decent length race. They homage to the 2020 series we used to do. Used to get 45 people or 50 odd people on a Friday night with plenty of tins under the belt and 1.5 hours of trying to muscle a NASCAR around road courses. So that was a really good time.
Indeed it was, back in the very early days of what we now do here, 4 nights a week, 4 terms a year, 40 weeks in total. The platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. You just have to bring your old mate Chris Whitaker back with you.
If they came back, he would be tearing down the wall, the paint to get home and come in for a steer, I'm sure.
Indeed he would. I'm hoping
he'll polish up a nice chrome door for me too, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I'm just waiting to see if he's actually going to get his real world car back on the track in the next couple of weeks when we go out to QR for the next round of the Production Sports Car Championship. But Road America, was it Road America that enticed you more to have a steer of this thing tonight?
It was part of the reason, because it's a track I knew. Like if it was something like Zolder, I would have probably packed it in. But I knew Road America pretty well, and first thing that shocked me about the car, because it's literally the first time I've driven it, is the brakes were crap. Like literally jumped on the brakes. I did jump out for the end of Quali, and I got like checkered flag as we exit the pits. I jumped on the brakes at turn 1 at like the 3rd cone and just sailed off into the sand trap. I'm like, oh, this is not ideal. So. Lap 1 was ultra interesting, that's for sure.
Indeed. And no doubt weaving through the traffic gives you a good opportunity to, A, make the most of the misfortune of others, but also practice your overtaking skills.
Yeah, that was good. The people were pretty respectful in my little mob that was coming through. Had a good little battle there with David at the end as well. Had a good run on him. The setup I had a lot of really low downforce. I was rapid in a straight line, so I don't know if that was detrimental to me or not, but yeah, it definitely helped with the overtaking, that's for sure.
Indeed, it did. Hey, talk to me about your thoughts on, because I mean, you're listed as an elite split competitor here, so you've obviously been attributed to a Porsche split in the rare few occasions in which you have turned up to steer them, mate. Do you notice any differences from the last time you drove the Porsche, or has it been too long between drinks?
I think I drove it once, like, what was the track? It might have been Catalunya, potentially.
Yep.
But that was like 2-3 years ago, maybe. I did one race and did okay. I think it was top 10.
Indeed. We'll have a look at that in more detail very soon, I am sure. Once we get a chance to get off air and dig back through the archives and have a look at exactly where and when it was, mate. I'm sure Adam's already over that information for us. But have you had a chance to go and have a steer of the bend on the iRacing server yet? Because that's dropped since the last time we caught up with you in Porsche circles. Least of all, I know you missed the Formula V round there because you were at Road Atlanta and that was the one that followed.
I haven't bought it yet, mate. So
Come on, Trent, what are you doing?
I literally turned the computer on this afternoon after 28 days, according to my Windows update schedule. So, yeah, it was a bit of a last-minute spur of the moment. Said, "Oh, why not?" I think I was actually eating dinner during qualifying for the V's. So, that was interesting.
And I remember when we caught up. Actually, I must say thank you, by the way. When we caught up at Lakeside a couple of weeks ago, when I was kicking rocks and cursing the ongoing bureaucratical political BS of the joint. When we caught up there, I actually caught up with your far better half in timing. And I mentioned earlier that if 9 times out of 10 when you're on the broadcast now in a competitor capacity, she'll be tuning in. So we've given Emma a shout out already. We've said hello to you. But I must say thank you because I had no idea until she said that she was actually a viewer of the GSRC through you. I had no idea that you'd already established that connection, but more importantly, introduced her to the rip, tear, rush, bust of what we do on a Thursday night. Least of all the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as well.
Yeah, I think she was watching tonight. She might still be watching. I'm not too sure, but yeah, she's always keen to keep an eye on what we're up to, and yeah, obviously listening to yourself as well brings back good memories for her.
Good memories of needing to reach for Panadol, no doubt. But in saying that, mate, and any way we can expand and extend the reach and broadness of the audience, and the number, the quantity. I was trying to think of the right word. Quantity of the audience. We'll take it. So no, good to have Emma on board. Good to have you on board. And obviously we look forward to hearing back from you once you've gone to Time Attack in a couple of weeks. But as you say, that's 2 weeks' time. So next week, let's remind everybody of where we're off to next, please, Matt Schmidtke, with regards to the Porsches. It's not Donington Park National. It's Algarve. Yes, Algarve next week. Unfortunately, you missed Shell V-Power because that's... So no excuse, no reason to buy the bend just yet for you, Trent, because it's on the week you're not here. But Algarve next week, Portimao, Portugal. Your thoughts on doing the double next Thursday night, the V's at Donington, and then Portimao for the Porsches?
Ooh, Portimao. Could do. That'd be my jam. I just found my last time I drove the Endurance Cup was 2022 Season A. There you go. So
Jesus.
3 years ago.
Yep, that's going back a bit.
Got P8 though. That was all right.
Not bad at all. No, solid, respectable. Absolutely. Very well done, mate. Nice to catch up with you. We'll leave it there. Always good to have you in the booth. I mean, it was disappointing last time we caught up with you because we saw you on the track running at Road Atlanta and then you didn't come and pay us a visit post-race. So we're grateful that you've stuck around and paid 2 visits to the booth this evening. Good luck with everything coming up over the weekend and, of course, into next week. Hopefully see you on the grids this time next Thursday night as we wrap up our August component of Term 3, mate. Go well.
Thanks, mate. Take it easy. Cheers.
Indeed, and it's important to note there that date, August 28. I mentioned that Excellinger a few moments ago. August 28 will essentially be a month. The countdown will begin to that, and it's always so well attended and so well supported, that event, and they're upping the ante in 2025. I've had a fair bit of correspondence regarding that this last fortnight, and that's all I'll say on the matter for the moment. Let's go back to Greg Heaney, who we appreciate hanging around with us before he steps into my seat tomorrow night to keep it warm whilst I'm over doing GT Pro with Scott Rankin and everybody else at the Australian Sim Racing Group. And it is a big week for the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club because we're so well represented on that grid as well. So we've got, invested interest over there. It's hard to keep an eye on everything that's going on tomorrow night, focusing on what's going on here and also keeping an eye on what's going on over there. That whole difficult notion of not being able to be in two places at once rears its ugly head again. Greg, the rest of the night, talk me through it, because we mentioned the battle between you and Dale there for a little bit. He's eventually later dropped back behind Dale Sharp and I think one other as well. Matt might be able to bring up the open split results on the screen for us here, because again my timing screen's given me a rerun of the race and I don't necessarily need that. I wish they could do that with Natsoft though, when you go and watch replays of things that you haven't seen already. But the joys of the real world compared to the sim, right? And vice versa. David Baz, Jason Wilkinson, a podium for you, held off Dale Sharp, who got by Dale Atkins off the final corner because he had a little bit of a skirmish, a little bit of a skid off the final corner that upset the run up the hill. So Dale Sharp got the better of Dale Atkins, then Eduardo, Richard, Edward Rollo, then Keith Angel, Brett Bradbury made up the top 10. The only retirements there tonight, Barry Punter, Joe Baldwin, and Greg Levine was a non-starter. But your thoughts on all of that, Greg? I mean, not a bad night out for the stable, 2 in the top 5 as far as the open split was concerned.
Yeah, no, it was, from the standpoint of the whole team, albeit, yes, we only had 2 cars on the grid. I think just about everybody else was busy tonight, so, but no, it was not bad all round for myself and Dale, and we obviously had our own little in-house battle going around, and we had Dale Sharp there as well from the Aussie Racers stable keeping us company, and they were just battling away between each other, and I was ever so slowly creeping up on the back of them, and then it was me in the middle and then me in front and so on and so forth. But it was not a bad result. I'm happy with the third. I obviously couldn't see Jason and Dave on my relative during the race, so I had no idea where I was positional wise in the split. But I'll definitely take a third, because that'll close my gap to Paul and Eduardo, being that I'm in front of both of them. So that'll hopefully cement my position inside the top 3 for the championship coming into the last handful of rounds and drop rounds kicking in after tonight. So will be interesting to see how it all comes out in the wash. So I know after last night's not so spectacular finish to the V8s and then the drop rounds kicking in, I've got about 31 points between myself and Dale Sharp for the Dev Split Championship in the V8s. So that'll be, I reckon that'll be one to watch. It's going to be a race within a race, and we had a cracking battle at the Bend when we were there a couple of weeks ago for the. We honestly thought we were on for the podium top 2 steps, but turns out Jeff Adams rocked up and nicked off with the Dev Split trophy for that one. But
love it.
But yeah, no. So it's I reckon from here out, obviously as we normally would, myself and Dale with the WBR flags are definitely going to be putting on the best foot forward that we can, and taking it up to the guys from AER, and doing our best to at least keep it clean and keep the cars straight.
Indeed. Hard to believe that 7 rounds have come and gone. We're looking forward to what unfolds in the next couple of weeks, mate. The points matrix will be getting updated, I would suggest, tomorrow morning.
Mab's in
Adam
the process
Davis is crunching them now. Excellent. So we'll we'll hopefully have an update on both Formula V and the Porsches before we're done tonight. We'll definitely have Formula V. I can tell you that right now. We will definitely have Formula V. And, yeah, the last race at Zolder tonight has unfortunately hurt Aaron Russell dearly as far as that's concerned. But we'll get to that very shortly. But disappointing to only have two out there, Greg, but strong numbers across the board in the other splits as well and the other series as well, mate. What are your thoughts on next week when we get to Algarve? Will we see a couple more of your guys grace us with their presence there? If not, obviously, what are your thoughts in terms of trying to maintain this momentum, this run you're on at the moment? You're third in the points coming into tonight as far as the open split was concerned. He's still got to crunch the numbers for you guys yet. You've held off Sharpie. I mean, Paul and Eduardo are in there as well. That battle is still well and truly alive, and only 25 points covered the top five coming into tonight. So there's no reason why you couldn't potentially zoom up over the top and win this thing, but you're going to have to hit your markers.
Oh, very much so. I'm just hoping it doesn't, if it does go down that way, which it looked like it was potentially going at the end of last season, that I don't end up in the same boat that I did end up in last season, because that was that was not exactly my my happiest ending to a season, shall we say. I know if there was one driver that had joined me in the Discord to apologise, I probably would have flown off the handle. But I was ropeable at the end of that one, but it is what it is. And yes, I know they're only pixels on a screen and it's all virtual and stuff, but after you invest as much time as obviously everybody within the club does in this type of thing, and even outside of the club, everybody that does invest as much time as they do, and you're so close to sitting on a podium, whether it be in the club here or in one of the other clubs that we have drivers affiliated with, and so on and so forth, it can be rather frustrating to be knocked out of that position at the death knock, if you will.
Indeed. Of course, the ride from here, we finish on Australian turf with the Bend and Phillip Island, but Portimao next week will be a roller coaster. And I say that advisedly because you look at the layout of the circuit, but it'll be a vitally important round of the series. The Bend will be interesting because we've never taken the Porsche Cup there. And then, of course, Phillip Island, well, we always know to expect fireworks when we end up at the island. We also know to expect a larger than usual grid. Good to catch up with you, mate. Final thoughts from you before we wrap this thing up a little bit early by our usual standards, but no one wanted to come in and have a chat tonight, sadly. And I'm not sure why. I don't know what I've done. Must have upset a few people. Or they're not happy with how they performed tonight.
Well, there is that, or maybe they could have heard an apparent echo from you for the end of the V race with Chapo and Adam.
But yes, yeah, that's true too.
I was asked to ask you about that, and I thought, well, whilst you're talking to Bondi and doing the other formalities tonight, I thought I'd scroll the broadcast back and have a look. And yeah, I could probably think that if I wasn't in here, I probably would have heard. If I wasn't driving, I probably would have heard you from my place.
Yes. Those two, I don't know what it is, but they always seem to find one another on a racetrack. It was cracking stuff yet again tonight. And Adam Lavis making it a 1-2 for the Lavis boys, the Aussie Racers stable. Good luck for them, bad luck for Chapo, but by a hair's breadth, you know. I mean, it's just, Formula V never ceases to amaze. The remarkable thing was the top five were covered by some ridiculously tight margin in the first race. I think it was 4 or 5 tenths of a second, and it just got better from there. So Zolder delivers yet again. Cannot wait to see those guys in their final round at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in a couple of weeks as well. Now, tomorrow night, you're in here keeping the seat warm for me. It's going to be good fun. The Open World doubleheader. The Fords from Zolder, the Super Formulas from Motorland Aragon. Aragon's a little bit of a novelty because there's still a few people to warm to that circuit, but it throws up great racing, 2 and 4 wheels alike. And Zolder, we know already tonight from the V's, it throws up good racing. But the difference there is they're using the tighter, more technical chicane at the end of the lap for the Formula Fords tomorrow night. But sprint racing there, which is always a treat.
Yeah, so yeah, that will definitely be a decent night. The Super Formulas around Aragon should make for some very interesting racing. I know the V8s were a handful around there. So we'll see how the guys go in the Super Formulas. It'll certainly be a fast lap, I'll give you that much for free. But getting those things stopped at the hairpin at the end of the back straight is going to be a handful, I reckon. And it's really going to test the guys, because if you put them anywhere near, because they're so stiffly sprung and so rigid, those cars, if you put them anywhere near those little pyramids of death on the inside of any of those curbs, you're going to end up facing the wrong way really quick. But yeah, it'll hopefully throw up some good racing all around for tomorrow night, and keep the seat warm for you for Monday.
Indeed. Looking forward to it immensely, mate, and I appreciate you stepping in whilst I'm over commentating GT Pro from the Circuit de la Sarthe. The good thing about that is there's that much straight line running there that I'll have a chance to make a coffee at various points throughout the course of the evening and come back and have missed nothing. So looking forward to that. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that. Thank you to Trent Lavis as well. Some final thoughts from Matt Schmidtke before we wrap up.
Yeah, good night as always. Definitely a bit of chaos here and there, but
when isn't there not?
Yeah, those reverse grids will get you, but there's a little bit in the Porsche. Took a little while to get there, but we ended up with a bit. Unfortunate for Ben, he was giving Corey a run for his money, but just stuffed that pit up there. So yeah, good racing.
Indeed, that was the case. Now, I've got a little bit of housekeeping to take care of here, folks, before we rock and roll out of here. And obviously, I'll get to the GSRC sponsors and other things in just a moment. I did just notice, and I should have clicked to this earlier, because we know Daiso's been on the grid throughout the course of the season in the Porsches, but I just read the top page. I normally go straight to the second page of the club executive and committee and commentary team, ladies and gentlemen, have access to a document. It tells us compulsory pit stop regulations per class. It tells us sponsors, and that's the main reason I use it. There's a couple of other things that goes on to brief the drivers before the race gets underway when we do have live race control. And I missed the memo where it says in red, Andrew Dyson, Aaron Smith, Lachlan Marr, all sitting this round out because they've exceeded their safety licence penalty points. So that explains why Daiso was carving up Ryan Jones from the comment thread tonight and not actually out there on the racetrack with him. I should have clicked on that earlier. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is a massive weekend of sport and motorsport, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just cover off a couple of bits of housekeeping there. Obviously, Greg and Joe will be here with us tomorrow night and run you through the rest of it. But obviously, the final round of the regular season of the AFL, the NRL continues on third last regular season round for them. Second and third ODIs, the Australia-South Africa series continues. Australia desperately needing to bounce back after Maharaj carved them up on Tuesday night in Cairns. We've also got the Women's Rugby World Cup getting underway. The Australians play their first game there Saturday night, 8:30 Eastern. You'll see it on 9Gem. Hungarian round of MotoGP. Sprint Saturday night, race Sunday night, second round of the EPL. The AFLW continues, the NRLW continues, the Rugby Championship continues. Australia in action against South Africa, looking to repeat the heroics of last week. The NASCAR Coke 0400 is on. The IndyCar Series heads to Milwaukee, their penultimate round of the series. The IMSA United Sports Car Championship from Virginia International, cracking racetrack for those sports cars. And, of course, the US Open Tennis Championships gets underway from Flushing Meadows in New York. So an enormous weekend of sporting action coming your way. And, of course, there's plenty more where that came from with September just around the corner. Corey Lazarus putting the icing on his cake of the night. Yes, I got my safety licence penalty points back. Well done again, mate. Congratulations to your great performance as per usual. We do it with thanks to each Monday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday night, ladies and gentlemen, here on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. Waste Options, Trophy AI, PanTek Industries, Sprite Insider, merch.tgsrci.com, and Flash Graphics. Now, if you want to get hold of some merch because you've not yet done your Father's Day shopping, oh, damn it, I got Dad a gift card for Super Cheap Auto. I should have got him one of these. GSRC merch.myshopify.com, merch.tgsrci.com takes you to the same place. Stubby, coolers, holders, shirts, jumpers, and bottle openers, all there available to purchase. So get into the merch store and support the club that supports you and, of course, keeps you amused 4 nights of the week if you're tuning in via our YouTube and Facebook feeds. And, of course, if you want to get involved in the club and become a racing active member of what we do here and get out there on circuit with these other lunatics, race.tgsrci.com is where you go to sign up and become part of the fun of the fair. Let's remind you what comes your way, because, by gee, there's some big racing ahead. There's no doubt about that. And the big events happen here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Starting tomorrow night with our open world double header. Yep, that one. Yep. We'll get to the other page in just a moment. Circuit Zolder, the Grand Prix configuration there from Circuit Zolder, 2 sprint races, 7:30 Eastern. I hope you can join us for that. Greg Heaney, Joe Baldwin bringing you all the action. Followed by a trip to Motorland Aragon in Spain for 2 sprint races again. So again, we've had 4 different races, 4 different winners. We could well have that again tomorrow night. Aragon, the venue, Super Formula, the item on the agenda. Round 7 of the Sprite Insider Wings and Slicks series, and that is from 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, once the boys are done here, the Sim Racing Marathon continues because, and I've been plugging it all week, we want to wish at this point in time our GSRC members that participate, contest the GT Pro Invitational Series with thanks to the Gamesman and the great crew there over on the Australian Sim Racing Group platforms. You'll be able to tune in and watch that tomorrow night from 7:45 Eastern with the race start at 8:30. But the good thing about it is the race runs for 3 hours. So once the GSRC action finishes, switch over to the SimSpeed Esports Network and continue your Friday night motorsport marathon. We'll be there till about 12:15 Saturday morning Eastern Standard Time. So watch the GSRC action first. Come and join us. I'll have Scott Rankin in the booth alongside me and looking forward to it immensely. Right. Partway through tomorrow night's doubleheader, the boys will spin the wheel. They will do so in order to tell you the track and car combinations. So 2 spins of the wheel, 1 for the car, 1 for the track. The wheelie spins, Oz Tour, track configuration and car combo to be determined by a spin of the wheel tomorrow night. The 200-kilometre race will take place 8 p.m. Saturday night. It will depend on which car and track and configuration of which track, because noting that there's 2 different configurations at Oran Park. There's a couple at Winton. There's multiple at the Bend. Only 1 configuration for Sandown Bathurst and also for Phillip Island. But at least car and track combo will be determined tomorrow night. 200 kilometres, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Here's one for you, right? I know why they did away with that internal infield that they had in the 80s for Sandown and the World Sports Car Championship and other things. But why didn't iRacing scan that as well? Why haven't we got an option to do the extended Sandown layout? I'm not terribly sure. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Monday night, I'll stop digressing in a moment. Willow Springs, the venue, round 8 of the Mazda MX-5 Challenge. 2 sprint races there, 7:30 Eastern. I hope you can join us for that. That'll be top shelf, because Willow Springs, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the great underrated hidden gems of the sim racing world. We'll go there Monday night. We'll have a heck of a lot of fun. The Mazda series has been tantalising so far this season. 9 different winners so far from 11 races. That continues Monday night, 2 sprint races. Hope you can join us for that. GT3 Silverstone follows. We'll be focusing on the Pro split before we go and cover the sprint round in week 9 from the YAM and the Pro M splits. 8:30 Eastern, 60 minutes the journey from Silverstone, the current Grand Prix configuration layout there. And that is going to be 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday night, the Ferrari Challenge. Off to Motorland Aragon onto the motorcycle configuration of the circuit there. So that's that uphill left-handed sweeper onto the main straight, a very fast-flowing end of the lap. That is 8:45 Eastern Tuesday night, 3 sprint races there. Wednesday night, Michigan International for the NASCAR Gen 4 Cup Series. Dan Yeaman and Liam Banks with you for that one from 7:30 Eastern, 50 minutes or XXX laps. They'll determine the lap number later and probably go time certain anyway. because cautions and whatever else. 7:30 Eastern. Hope you can join the boys for that. Then onto the Okayama International Circuit for 40 minutes of supercar action. Yay. 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, the boys, with thanks to Trophy AI, will bring you all the action there, live, exclusive, free, commercial free during the race as well. Thursday night, Matt Schmidtke and I are back with you. Our last assignment for the month of August, as far as sim racing is concerned, will be Formula V from Donington Park National. So that's the short shoot layout. 3 sprint races, races 22, 23, 24 of the campaign, race 7:30, race start 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're on air a couple of minutes before that. Then onto the Porsche Cup with thanks to PanTec Industries from Algarve International Circuit, Portimao, Portugal. And again, it's a 40-minute race, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. We don't have any more sprint racing until we get to Phillip Islands. So a big end of the 7th week and a big start to the 8th week coming up here as far as Term 3 is concerned in 2025, Season 22 for the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, whether you're watching via Facebook or YouTube. We hope you'll join us for all of that. We also hope that you've enjoyed what we've brought you throughout the course of this evening. Thank you very much for your company. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Drift Dodds Photography, hoping, praying that he doesn't have to fork out for any more iRacing content, spend any more iRacing dollars, etc. and so forth, dip into the bank any further. But let's be perfectly honest, and I was trying to make this point a couple of weeks ago, and I'm glad I've got the opportunity to do it again, right? You only live once. And it's an unfortunate, reminder of the heavy stuff that we were dealing with about half an hour ago. It's no good to you when you depart. It's okay to overindulge occasionally. So if you want to jump in there and have a steer on Saturday night, just give up a coffee or two next week. That's all it is. At the end of the day, we've all got our guilty pleasures. We've all got our pleasantries, our creature comforts, our wants rather than our needs. And I think this week's a timely reminder of the tragic passing of Joseph Bianchini, which we covered off about an hour ago. I think this week's a welcome reminder in the saddest, cruelest possible way that it is short, it is sweet. So, it's probably an incentive to go out and enjoy it a little bit more than we already do. Not necessarily make the time, but find the time. And spend that little bit of extra coin to indulge and enjoy, because it can all end all too suddenly through no fault of anybody's, through sheer bad luck. So with that in mind, I'm encouraging you to, whatever the track and car combo is, tip into the back just a little bit. You'll be right. One thing we've always learnt, especially after the last couple of years, the cruelest part of the last couple of years with COVID was, and that whole changing of what was the norm, what was life as we knew it, was that we were frozen, we were stuck, we didn't know what was going to happen next. But the one lesson we took out of it, and this is proof of it, the GSRC and the platforms thereof, the fact that we're still here 5 years later, everything falls into place. We end up finding our way back into some sort of routine, rhythm, and stability, thinking financially. So don't sweat too much. At the end of the day, it's only $15 US, which is about $25 Oz for a new track, new car, whatever the case may be, content. It's a couple of coffees or a couple of schooners. I'm sure you'll balance the budget somewhere along the way. That's it from us. We are done. Well done to the Rabbitohs, 40-0 winners over the Dragons in the NRL. Well done to Carlton, 34-point winners, 90-56 over Essendon in the AFL. Well done to our championship leader, Corey Lazarus. He is dominating. Oh, actually, sorry, false alarm. Let's have a look at some championship points. Here I was thinking we're out of here. Jesus, I apologise. I lost train of thought. Sam Chapman continues to lead the way in GSRC Formula V, but look at that. It's only 14 points. In fact, it's only 18 between the top four. Oh, bring on the last 3 weeks. It's going to be bloody fantastic, isn't it? 62 points covers the top 5 because Brett Barker's making a late run. Braden Sagassa up a couple of spots tonight, 276, 243 for John Baldwin, 231 for Joe Baldwin, Sean McQuillan, a notable absentee tonight, 229. And Lockie Purvis, 215, despite DNF in the last race in Belgium. Chapo's lead is 14. From Aaron Russell, Chris Noble, Adam Lavis, the four expected protagonists featuring prominently there. Where's John Merritt in all of that? Down in 19th. Yeah, didn't do much in race 3, unfortunately, did Jay Merritt. Hot lap. He hasn't been a regular on the grid throughout the course of the season, but he's one of those guys that could be there over the next couple of weeks to make or break somebody's championship aspirations. He can't win it, but he can certainly shape the way that the next couple of weeks plays out just by throwing a spanner in the works for one of those would-be championship contenders. I don't think I can bring you the Porsche Cup standings at this particular point in time. They are still being worked on, but I can tell you that Corey Lazarus still has the championship lead. That is known. That is fact. And Sam Muir's going to find himself in second tonight, and Ben Pedersen's going to find himself in third. But we'll get Joe and Greg to go through the numbers thereof tomorrow night for you here across Facebook and YouTube. So, apologies for the false alarm, because a bit of an anticlimactic conclusion, because I was about to sign off and then realised we still had business to take care of. So we've taken care of said business. Now that that's done, we can say goodbye. Thank you very much for your company. Hope you enjoyed the coverage as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. From all the crew here, good luck to our GT Pro competitors tomorrow night. We wish them the best of luck. Good luck to our competitors that might be going out and contesting some real-world motorsport events throughout the course of the weekend as well. I know there's a lot on around the region, not so much up here in Queensland, bit of a quiet weekend, unless, of course, you're going up to Leeburn for the sprints. On behalf of Matt Schmidt, our entire broadcast commentary and production team on what's been a busy Thursday night in the booth, I'm Zach Caban. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hope to have your company after you've been here for the GSRC racing tomorrow night. Invitational Series event from Spa. But if not, we look forward to your company on Monday night. Go out and have a great weekend, everybody. Hopefully the weather comes good for most of you on the eastern seaboard. By gee, it's been a wet week. Again, we seem to be having a run of them this season, but you look at it in about 4 months' time when we're getting together for end-of-year festivities, the festive season, Christmas, New Year, etc., we'll all be moaning and whinging about a drought again, knowing our luck. Let's hope that isn't the case, though. Hope you enjoyed it. Corey Lazarus dominant at Road America. Ben Pedersen kept him honest right up until the pit stop. He'll be ruling that, but Lazarus is on track to retain the number one going in to term 4 of 2025. Look forward to your company for Week 8 competition starting Monday, and don't forget to join Greg Heaney and Joe Baldwin tomorrow night. Have a great Friday, everybody, and enjoy what's left of your Thursday evening. Until we see you next time, I'm Zach Caban bidding you a very good night.